And we're back.
It's not like we have the exact same music cue every single week.
It's funny because I looked up because I heard the cue, and then I saw you give the cue.
I apologize. I'm so like last 2 days doing the Alliance basketball, right? So I have someone in my ear saying, "Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1." I was just thinking it's an Alliance game. My bad. All right, we're
this
back.
This isn't play-by-play.
I know, but it's natural reaction. Welcome back to CTA. Peasy Eagle Mocon here.
So, I think Bill Lawrence, a famed TV executive, owes me an apology.
Why?
Because I think that he was watching our behind-the-scenes footage, and he got the idea that Ted Lasso brings biscuits to his boss every show because I bring Mama Khan a donut every time it's my turn to bring the coffee.
Right. By the way, so backstory on Ted Lasso. I don't know if you guys know, right? It was an NBC. It was going to be an NBC production.
Yeah, because it was part of their. It was a character created during their run when they had the World Cup.
Well, they never had the World Cup. They had the EPL rights.
Oh yes, that's it. Sorry.
And so they were.
Yes, that was it. That's why they were playing the EPL.
Yeah, and then they had like 6 promos, and it died out. And so Sudeikis and the guys said, like, "Please, let's just let's ask for permission," which they did. They got it, and they, as you saw, the rest is history.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that plus Bill Lawrence stole the cookie thing from me getting a Mama Donna.
I tried to offer Mama Khan an ice cream sandwich, but
yeah, that was.
How is that ice cream sandwich? Eagle, is it good? Is it?
It's demolished.
Before the show, Eagle brought water to Mo and I, and just like as a kind gesture, brought Mo what amounts to essentially a time bomb. Knowing Mo won't eat an ice cream sandwich, he put an ice cream sandwich in his hand.
No, not in his hand, on his computer.
Yeah.
I refused to help him out and put my lactose intolerant ass on the line. And then for a moment, Mo panicked, but then Eagle just ate the ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, I would have one, but not now. Like, maybe if I'm out, like ice cream with whatever, but not now. Like, I need to focus on the show.
Because we're not actually his friends, is what he said.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're just cohorts.
Do you like ice cream, Mo?
Yeah, I do.
Are you more like a froyo or more like sorbet or like pure ice cream?
No, sorbet is a little bit too. I mean, I like sorbet before when they present you sorbet.
Top 5 ice creams.
Yeah. Well, sorbet when they give
top 5 ice creams. Let's go.
Top 5 ice creams. Okay. Well, chocolate chips up in there.
Okay.
Vanilla.
Wait, chocolate chip ice
cream.
So
you're going flavors?
It's just vanilla with chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Well, so is stracciatella, guy. Relax. Still delicious.
I'm a big mint guy. Mint chocolate.
I like mint chocolate chip too.
Mint chocolate chip is very good. Chocolate chip ice cream is good. Vanilla. Tradition, you gotta go with classic.
I like when they have the off-white vanilla, like the cream colored vanilla, like the yellow vanilla.
Not like maple.
No, I'm saying because like vanilla is not actually white.
No, of course.
Right,
not.
so like not the non-super plasticky white one, like that creamy colored one.
If we're talking about McFlurries, like if that's an ice cream, I know it's
okay. No, that's fine.
I'll go with Oreo and Smarties. Are pretty good.
So, like for me, because I was thinking more type of ice cream than flavors.
Okay.
Because for me, sorbet is the bottom of the list. I find them all too sweet.
Soft ice cream is nice.
I like soft ice cream.
Yeah.
Gelato, of course, being my favorite. I'm a big pistachio gelato guy.
I never really had gelato.
My pistachio gelato, it's only depending on where it comes from, because I find the Americanized version of it is not good.
Terrible, yeah.
The Italy one is so much better.
Well, but there's a few spots here where you can get it.
Where's the best gelato in Montreal?
There's a place in TMR. It's attached to a restaurant that I can never remember the name of because it's always closed. But like, I literally. It's impossible to find unless you know someone who lives in TMR.
Pull up.
I can't think of the name.
There's a restaurant in Saint Leonard called Du Boucher à la Table where they get their products imported from Italy, and they actually have legitimate pistachio gelato imported from Italy. It's fantastic.
It's called Confetti Gelateria.
I don't know. What's the?
It's on Grand
Did you say
Boulevard.
gelateria?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
It's not gelatineria.
No, it's gelatin.
Gelateria.
Gelatin Arena.
Gelatin Arena.
But yeah, so
I'm gonna go
also
there, Gelatin Arena.
Daroberto's, terrible food but great ice cream. So
fair enough.
There's that.
Okay.
Oh, they're not a sponsor, right?
No, they're not. It's definitely not. But I will
yeah,
have some,
Sportira, lucky to be a sponsor. Sorry.
Sportira, proud sponsor.
Speaking of which, get your jerseys if you haven't got them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Sportira or another place. But Sportira is the official sponsor of our jerseys. But you can go to another place.
Yeah, just this heads up again. Now the league rules being enforced for uniform numbers and stuff, and please have that done. It's funny enough, some teams have played 5 games. We're approaching the 5-game mark of the regular season, so please check your team page on how many games your players have played, because, again, we always run into this same issue every year, every season. Hey, my guy played in week 1. Well, we don't remember that. So please check your roster. And now, big news. The dates have been set for playoffs and for the finals weekend, which is slated for August 5th or August 6th, Eagle.
I actually haven't looked myself. So
it is August
we're going to learn
6th.
for the first time. By the way, this is posted on our website if you want to go check it out.
August 6th and 7th is the finals dates. So as you can see, if you scroll down, you can see the dates of playoff windows for your division or divisions that you might be playing in this season. And if you look at the most important one is the finals date, which is August 6th, Sunday and Monday. So we're going Sunday, Monday. Given, again, we don't do Saturday, Sunday during the spring season of our calendar year. So please check that out. These are locked-in dates. They're not going to change. They're locked in. The only adjustment we would do if you are playing on multiple teams that we might adjust the timings of certain games because of divisions that might go back-to-back. But otherwise, these are locked-in dates set in, so please let your team know. And if you're in the finals, make sure that you make the accommodations because we always run into a team or two, I can't play. This is happening, that. Well, look, this has been here for now 2.5 months as we get to the finals in early August.
A reminder for the actual locations of the finals themselves and everything, right? So all our finals are going to be in Brossard, as it usually is. But then the other semifinals, quarterfinals, etc., the games and locations are already set. The schedule for the finals, like you mentioned, Mo, is technically set, but these might move around depending on the conflict, so we don't want to have people necessarily playing back-to-back. So if it does happen, we'll move things around. For example, Division A and Division B, we anticipate at least one team having some player that might be in both, so we're splitting it up with a women's division in between, which will work out well. And similarly, if you're not sure how your playoffs work, here is the summarized version of how the qualifications work for each of the divisions. Additional criteria or specifics in here, and of course on your own page itself there is a playoff tie break and breakdown tab. Go ahead and check that out for all the things. I'm saying this, Iggy, if you're listening to this show, and I'm sure you are, check it out, make sure it's correct. There's always one that's wrong, and I always yell at you.
I was gonna say, did Iggy write this? Because it seems long-winded.
Yeah, it is. It's the Iggy production there. If you scroll down a little bit, Eagle.
Too literal.
If you scroll down a little bit here, okay, where it's a little bit more where the locations are for the dates and locations. So you see where it says Laval. It doesn't mean Laval's out. It's outdoors. Just want to make sure everyone knows that it's outdoors, not Laval being out. It's Laval outdoors.
So, and I'm just...
It should be
What
outdoors.
does Laval being out mean?
If Laval was out, where would the games be on Thursday, July 20th and Thursday, July 27th?
There is one person be like, Laval's out, so what's going on here? There is always that one person.
But
is it you, Mo?
It's not me. Let's make sure everyone knows it's
I
outdoors.
feel like you're the only one that would figure that out.
Yeah.
Or not figure
telling
that out.
you, there's
Pun
always
intended.
what do you mean by out, Eagle? You said figure it out. You mean out? That figuring is out?
I mean, by the time this show's out, it's June 1st. You know what month it is.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, figure it out.
Figure it out. All right. As always. So anyway, playoff dates are set. Uniforms, please check that out, and your games played for. Let's go into it. Division B. So Triple B, Beer Belly Brigade.
Yep.
Alexander Fafar is not playing right now. He's injured.
What happened?
Well, they wouldn't say what, but it feels like it's a long-term injury for them. And that's a big blow for their offense. Yeah. I mean, he is their offense, what he does as a quarterback.
Well, it's hard to find Division B caliber quarterbacks in the city of Montreal, first of all. Secondly, the other thing is the when it comes to Beer Belly Brigade is Fafard is really key to what they do because he's able to buy time. It sucks because we've talked about it for seasons that he was one of the quickest improving. Him and Iggy are probably the two quickest improving quarterbacks we've seen in FPF in a long time. And I was a little disappointed to see David Deneau basically trying to be the replacement up against Mangoose. Like, Faval has a decent cap hit, right? Like, his QB rating is 82.3. I'm sure you can find a Division C quarterback who can give you a hand, right? Or like anyone who's got an 80 rating, basically. And a lot of quarterbacks don't play defense, so they won't have a high defensive hit either. So, I mean, why not try and find someone who can help you out?
Well, I think in defense, they had a lead against Mangoose on Monday.
Yeah.
You okay there, Peace?
Yeah, I was trying to lower your headset, and it cut my sound.
All right, fair enough. They had a lead, but then I just think the inexperience at quarterback play hurt them.
Well, because, okay, you intercepted Nick Schaefer twice, which kudos to you, because Nick's great. But then how long do you think you're going to be able to go toe-to-toe with one of the more talented quarterbacks in the division, right?
It's not easy.
So
Not easy at
that's, and kudos to David. Like what I meant, by the way, wasn't meant to throw shade at David at all. First of all, he's a great receiver, so you lose him in your receiving core. Secondly, it's too tall a task to ask him to throw in the second highest division in spring.
Yeah, and you made the point of not being their receiver, so you're weakened at two positions, and that's what it comes down to. That they're weakened at two positions, and now at 1 and 3, you have to wonder they're
gonna bring someone in. They have to.
There's 6 games left, so they still have some runway to make up the lost ground and get themselves back in the playoff spot. They're now below the dotted line of where they are currently at 1 and 3.
Or maybe Farfar comes back from his bar mitzvah and starts playing again.
You were also thinking it was a penis injury?
Perhaps.
No, it's a Florida Panthers joke.
There we go.
Yeah, because Paul Maurice, to excuse the guy's injury,
Yeah,
he's like,
Barkov.
he's at a bar mitzvah. And there's like, was it a upper body or lower body injury? He's like, it's both. 2 floors.
Yeah, Barkov. He was talking about Sasha Barkov. But, look, they're still in it. I mean, surprised we run it once. See, here's the thing, though. Like, run it once, B-Raz and Bless are all teams, ticklers, all teams that can make a run up the ladder, right? So there really isn't a weak team, per se, in Division B that they can say we can target and catch up to.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to expect that Run and Wentz is going to find their groove at some point with Jeff Rosenblatt. And now they played 3 games so far. And B-Raz will find the way through. So, I mean, for Bill Brigade, 6 games left, they have to start putting some wins together because you don't want to fall beyond too far and then end up being in a deep hole.
But, again, there's only one solution to that. That's as simple as it is.
Yeah, it is.
You need to get a quarterback. Find somebody. Go to the Div C page and see who's available, who's throwing Div C. And even if there's no one there that you feel would fit, there's guys who aren't playing this season who could probably make 5 games, 5 in the next 6 weeks.
Exactly, and see what happens from there. But it's a huge loss for the offense. I mean, there's no question about
definitely.
that, though. Speaking of Bless, B-Ravs, and Silent Ticklers, right now they're at the bottom half of the division. So who do you think can put together a string of wins and make a run for the top 2 in this division?
So all those 3 teams, basically.
But if you have to pick one.
If I had to pick one, so the easy answer is Run It Once because they've played the least amount of games. So, sure.
And if they do need to make a run, they are the ones to do it.
They can run.
Yeah, they're just gonna do it once, right?
Yeah.
But
They can only do it once.
They only have one shot.
Call this bias.
One opportunity.
Call it bias. But who am I
One life
going?
to live.
Who am I going with?
I forget now. Run it once.
No, I guess I'm saying I'm putting my bias out there.
Yes.
If those are the 3 teams, who do you think my bias is with?
Blessed.
Blessed, obviously.
Yeah.
These are my boys, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like the team's built really well. Like James Langshaw, Kevin Smuda, Phil Farah, William Power, the mad genius of Stephen Hart-Prasad, Jafar Hassan, who doesn't get enough credit for being amazing. That team is ridiculous. It just seems at times, and it's been the case, I feel, over the last 2 seasons, that they're one of those teams that's starting to get bored with the regular season. Because they do tend to kick it up a notch when it comes to playoffs.
Right.
And it did bite them in the winter, right? But I think that they're going to do a thing where, they took a tough loss week 1, but it's week 1, doesn't matter. And then they put up a big number against Blessed.
They
got
scummed by ambush, though.
Fair,
right?
but
Yeah.
that's one game.
Yeah.
So who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. It's just that's the smaller sample size. They were down to Iggy with 4 plays with brownies and beers, and then took it downfield to win on the last play. That's what you expect from Stephen Hart-Prasad, right? Like, you expect him to close out tight games, and yeah, they lost ambush, but whatever. Like, that's just a loss.
Little mini controversy.
It's the same thing if you lose by 2 points or 50. So.
Right.
Mini
Yes,
controversy in these standings here. B-Raves lost the game to Poseidon's Kiss on what is ostensibly a butthurt official. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Plus a little bit of, I guess, overreaction from the B-Raves as well. Long story short, I forget who it is, but someone on their team gets an OC, 10 plays out. They're already at 6 players, right? So now they're down to 5. Joe Mayer gets upset at the referee, gets himself an OC as well. Now they're down to 4 players for 10 plays. They have to play as 4 without their top 2 QBs, essentially. I think it was Will Choche, was the other guy.
It was Will
Yeah.
Trottier took the first penalty, and then Joe Maheu
on the follow-up took the second one. So instead of playing at 4 for those 10 plays, they're like, well, this game's done because we're just going to get intercepted or get driven again, so we're walking away. So that game ended early. In a hypothetical, if that game continues, sans penalties, right? Those calls don't happen because the argument was the original call was soft, and so the second one wouldn't happen, blah, 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 whatever it is. The B-Raves might be 3-2, Poseidon's Kiss is 1-1, and now we're looking at them saying, hey, are they the ones having to make the run?
I have 3 things to say about OCs. And I know a lot of people inside the FPF management / officiating team don't agree. Although there are officials who do agree with me as well. So it's not a definitive positions that all referees have. But first of all, when it comes to objectionable conduct, my belief is the conduct has to be objectionable. And I think that we can do a better job as a league as defining what objectionable means. I don't want to take all judgment out of the referee's hands, but I think we need to say like it needs to somehow meet this criteria. Is a person saying something insulting? Is there a slur? Are they swearing? Are they yelling? Are they yelling specifically at you, or are they yelling because they're upset? Because those are 2 different things. Mm-hmm. When I see a referee giving an OC to a player because they hear the player and they say, well, you said loud enough for me to hear it, that's soft. That's just the ego of the referee. And I'm not afraid to say it. It's simple as that. That's a referee feeling, as Eagle said, butthurt. The second thing is, I actually think quarterbacks should get a longer leash because you're impacting the game if you take the quarterback off the field, especially in the highest divisions.
Especially there's gambling going on too.
Especially if it's a subjective call.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like it needs to be bad. Like if you're gonna decide the outcome of the game, because the referee, I don't care that Braves left the game or B Braves. I know they shouldn't have left. Yes, it's not the classy way to handle it. However, the referee absolutely decided the outcome of the game, and that's unacceptable. Unless I wasn't there for it. I've heard stories of what happened from both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides are in agreement, by the way, and don't agree with the referee. And honestly, to me, if you're going to decide the outcome of the game, you better have
irrefutable reason.
Irrefutable reason is the right way to put that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, by the way, Bless could be 5-2 before they hit a real strong part of their schedule. They can definitely beat Mangoose, ECW, and Beer Belly.
Definitely. Every time they play it, those 2 teams play it. It comes down to the last.
They'll beat Mangoose. They'll beat ECW.
In fact, last season they lost because Nick Schaefer got thrown up for an OC for questionable OC. Again, referee deciding the game.
Yeah, they have a strong chance to be 5-2 by the time we hit their final 3 games against Run It Once, Poseidon's Kiss, and Ticklers. So
what do you think is the most acceptable? I'm sorry to keep going back to this more. I think this is an important conversation. I would propose 2 things to the executive panel. One is that we create a list of things that we call objectionable, and you need to hit a threshold of at least one of these things.
How about a list of words you can say and can't say?
No, it's on radio. But I'm saying like, like we just laid out. Because I think the 3 of us all agree what's objectionable, what's not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
technically our rule book has this, but it's not as specific as you would like it to be.
Well, I don't even think it needs to be in the rule book, but just sort of like in the referee mechanics. Like, one of these things needs to happen for you to throw the no-see flag.
Because it's basically, this is not considered unsportsmanlike conduct because they didn't spike a ball, you didn't throw out an official, you didn't direct it off the field in an objectionable manner, you didn't deliberately delay the game, you didn't contact the official, none of those. There weren't any actions for health and safety that were part of it. There wasn't face-to-face trash talking in close proximity to opponents that was part of that. So it's really the interpretation of profane, obscene, insulting language or gestures to an opponent, official, or spectator by any player or occupant of the team bench, which is very vague.
Even that is vague, but it still specifies. As far as I know, none of those things happened.
Yes.
No, it was no.
Because it was directed to the situation more than the referee on top of that.
Yes. But that's where the official says this was indirectly directed at me, right?
Soft. Now, the next thing I will say is that the solution, or is the solution that we make OCs three plays off?
No.
So then, to me, we need to find a common ground. The common ground then is let's determine together where an OC is.
Yeah,
let's make it so we never have to have this conversation again.
Yeah, the three play OC back in the old school days was not enough because players still came in hot regardless of whatever the situation was, the
It
context.
was 5 plays for the record.
Well, it was 3, then went to 5, then went to 10, right? So eventually progressed in plays. But again, that game could definitely maybe alter B-Rav's playoff hopes, and they don't end up being a top 2 team. But, I'm going to go with Sun Ticklers to make that run. I think they had some unlucky plays that happened to them the first 2 weeks of the regular season, and now they start to find their wind and really get into flow here. So I'm going to go with Ticklers to make that run up the ladder and have a good chance at top 2. I think all these 3 teams will make their run. It's a question of who can put together 4 or 5 wins in a row.
Ticklers wasn't one of the teams you proposed. You said run it once, blessed or B-Raves.
Hold on. What is he Ticklers on this for?
What?
I don't
Don't change it?
Listen, Ron Burgundy. It might be on the script, but it's not what you said.
Oh, man.
It's fine. They're in the same boat, but it's not one of the teams you proposed.
Oh, man.
I was like, wait, what topic is this? And I was like, oh no, it's the same topic.
Oh, man, my bad. I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway, I'm going to go sign Ticklers. Oh, my goodness. All right. On to the next topic. Ticklers, I think, can run it, though. They had a tough start to the year. They're 0-2. But they're eloquent. They're great on offense. They're dynamic. And I just thought that first game was a little glitch that happened. Unfortunate for how it played out. But I think they can be in that conversation as a top 2 team by the end of the year.
Well, they're 3-1 if not for a Hail Mary on the last play.
Yeah, which I was
Not
there
really.
for.
It was like from half field, but still,
which I was there for, right? And then anyway, we'll see what
that
happens.
play was trips,
Yeah, exactly. It was base formation.
Trips.
All right, look, Oliver Suri, we talk about him and what he is, Mangoose. The man is, he's grown up with this team. They've gone from division to division now to this division here in Division B. He's a hell of a defensive player. I think he might be the next great one on defense.
But it's something I know when I covered Division D or E or whatever he was with that team with Arsenault, Nick Arsenault? Not Nick Arsenault. Arsenault was the QB's name. U Sports QB. Really talented. I don't remember. Anyway. Yo, write to us. Remind us who your quarterback was. Eagle, can you scroll down on Oliver Suri? The Logan quarterback.
Oh, Arnaud Desjardins.
Arnaud Desjardins. That's it.
Yeah.
I got the name wrong. My mistake. So I remember that team from when I covered that division. I was like, I don't care what division he's playing in. Olivier Suri is one of the best defenders in FPF.
Yeah, he's a hell of a dude, man.
And that dude was a Division 1 defender when he was playing in Division 5.
Yeah, he's good.
He just
man.
was. He is. He simply is. He's not necessarily at that caliber as a receiver, which is fine. Not everyone is. As a defender, absolutely. He always was, always is. He's amazing.
That's
he's
like
really
a Jeff
good.
Rosenblatt acquisition, right? For a high level. Like if Jeff is looking for a defensive player for his Division 1, Division 2
Yeah, well,
team,
that's what
yeah.
That's what Mangoose did, right?
Yeah.
We're moving up. We need a guy. We need a lockdown guy. Olivier Suri's that guy.
Yeah, he's good, man. He covers every blade of grass or turf. Isn't afraid to lock up with the best of the best. He reads
I don't know much about his fears, so maybe he's afraid of elevators.
Yeah,
He might be afraid of elevators.
He can play inside, outside, wherever you want him to do. Rush the quarterback, he can do it. He's just a 5-tool player on defense.
But put him on an elevator with a 13th floor, can't do it.
Can't do it. He's gonna press stop on the elevator, and not even go up to the 13th floor. But
when he was a kid, are you afraid of the dark? Yes.
On YTV.
Didn't watch it. Yeah,
my friend was on that show. All right,
but to your point, never on the football field.
No, exactly. But I think this is a kid that could very well win defensive play there. You get 3 INTs so far in that.
If I'm not mistaken, all 3 of those individual awards are that.
Yeah.
He has 3 defensive players of the year already.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. I wish you can click on it and see the
breakdown.
accolades. That would be great.
Drop-down box. But
Carlo!
we'll hopefully get that figured out one of these days here. But I'm impressed by his play this year. I think he's going to be a reason why Mangoose does well this year in Division B moving forward. So Division A, we look at it right now, Pease, with what we have. Obviously, Iggy changed the question a little bit here to add up the update here. So
I'm going to make fun of some of your questions, by the way. I'm very excited about this.
Excellent.
It's one of my favorite things to do on the show.
It's wide open, though, right? When you think about Crashers, Jamesons, #NR, all 3 wins. All-Stars are 1-1. But,
Star City 1-3. What's going on?
Yeah, we'll figure that out afterwards. But I mean, it's fascinating. It's compelling that we have these lesser known teams really off.
Are they lesser known though?
Well, does anyone know who Party Crashers are?
Yeah, they've been in the league for 1,000 years.
Yeah, but the base of the team, though, everyone knows who the All-Stars are. Everyone knows who Rays are, and everyone knows who Star City are, right? The core of those guys. But these are
I
teams
feel like, I mean, first of all, you know the Jamesons if you're on social media.
well, no.
So
no one has-
Kendrick Perkins would call him. No, wait, was Emmanuel Ocho would call Jeff Rosenblatt a social media quarterback, right?
Yeah, but how many people have Jeff Rosenblatt from FPF following? Like I follow him on social media.
I imagine most. That's how most of my socials now are FPF players, right? So I imagine it's the same for most players. I don't know. #NR has earned their place in FPF.
And they're 3-1 when Corey Pecker hasn't played in almost 3 years.
But there's still Corey Pecker, right? Like, he didn't stop being good. I understand he's not, necessarily even playing up to his standard. But that just means they're going to get better as the season goes on. Sorry, Mo, I didn't realize you were drinking.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get some water. My throat was a little bit dry.
No, I should have filibustered longer.
Yeah.
No,
carry
like
on.
they're really good, and I think that they have a combination of size and speed. They have the Perrys, they have Sanders Armand, Ryan Dobbs Garnett's a solid snapper.
Kendall has played pretty well for them. Kendall Myers.
Yeah, well, that's it. And you have guys like Kendall Myers and Travis Moses that can stretch the field and cover and do all sorts of stuff. So like it's a great team.
But this is great though because, and now it will encourage teams in Division B or Division 2 to say we can move up, because if these teams who are again in the hierarchy or lower rung are doing this after 4 or 5 games to be 3-1 or 3-1-1, whatever it is, it's great parity. It's better storylines to have, because to have Star City at 1-3 at this point in the year piece is remarkable. To have Braves at 2-2, 2-1, they'll rebound, I think. But it's just better for the league to see this happen, because every team has lost at least one game, if not more. Every team has one win plus whatever it is, and I just
and the games are tight is the other
Yeah.
thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, there's always a few blowouts and everything,
But how
but for
many
the
of them-
most part, all the games are
But how many
extremely
blowouts have there
competitive.
been though? There's been no 5 plays for how many games this year, right? I mean, it's great to see that happen, because in years past, what was it always years past, right? D-Boys and Finance would always blow out teams, and Div A would be a mess.
For those of you in Division A complaining about a Division A cap, this is why there's Division A cap.
Yeah.
This is why there's not just 4 teams in Division A. So you're welcome. The other thing, the Jamesons took on KGP this week.
Yeah.
KGP, their complaint was, how come we're always just short of scoring, and how come we're almost getting the call? It's like, well, because you didn't score.
No,
was the referee's defense. I wasn't there for the game, but I heard about some of the fallout. They weren't too pleased with how that game was called.
Admittedly, the tackles at the 1 on 40 bombs is very upsetting.
Oh yeah, like yes, you were 28 yards away as a referee, but you saw me pulled out at the inch line. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. You were able to spot the flag and the ball from 28 yards away.
Yeah.
Look, I think KGP will rebound. They'll put together some wins and get themselves in that conversation again. But when you look at Star City, you look at All Stars and big part in Braves. They're 6-2. No one would think all 3 teams would be at that point in terms of the total wins and losses and ties here. Is the gap closing piece, or are we still overestimating the fact that they've not been all 3 teams have not had a good start to the year?
So it's the 3 teams at the bottom there. Like, okay, Luminaire, we thought there might be some growing pains, and they actually haven't been that bad. They're giving up a lot of points, but they're not incompetent. Like, we see some teams sometimes that just don't belong in division.
Right.
I wouldn't say that's them, but you would imagine Star City, bless up, KGP would be closer to the top of the table, right? And they're not. Like, I honestly, moving forward, you're gonna put a chip on the shoulder of Dan Lazara. I don't like that for teams on the future of his schedule, right? Like, that's a team I expect to have a strong second half of the season.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Like, come on, like we're gonna see them in the playoffs. So they're not gonna be the one team that's eliminated. That would be ludicrous, right?
Well, here's the thing, right? The next 3 games winnable: KGP, Rayon, Lumiere, and Blast Up. They win those 3 games. They're back to 4-3 before they face All Stars back to back, and then Braves to wrap up the
But
year.
I don't think that the teams are as far apart as you're making it out to
No,
be.
I think the gap is closing.
Like,
Matt.
that's the thing. I don't think there's quote unquote winnable games. Like, every
No.
game is absolutely important. It feels like there's a playoff atmosphere in every Division A game, which is the point. That's what we wanted, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we got. It's a very intense season. Like you would imagine a division where only one team doesn't make the playoffs to not feel intense throughout the regular season. The regular season in this division
Has more meaning.
absolutely matters.
Has more meaning than before.
Yeah.
Because you knew in the old format when there was only 5 teams, well, yeah, I know 8 and make it out of 9, but bleep, it's going to be...
But it's about the caliber of teams. Like you said,
Yeah.
like there's not that many blowouts happening.
No,
you
there
know?
isn't.
So
And the gap is closing.
Yeah.
It really is closing with the up-and-coming teams or the teams that are trying to knock on that door to get into that penthouse. And they better make room if you're the All-Stars, Star City, and Braves because we're going to have more. And it would be awesome to have and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it would be cool to have a Jameson NR final. Like Jeff Roosevelt versus Corey Packer, former teammates when they first came in together as legends way back in the day. There's storylines that I would be intrigued by if that were to happen, if there's not a Braves All-Stars or a Star City final at some point.
who do you think? And I know your answer because you're the most predictable person on earth. Who's the better quarterback, Corey Packer or Jeff Rosenblatt?
Right now?
It doesn't matter.
Are you talking about like body of work?
Who's the better quarterback?
It's you know what? I'm gonna go Jeff.
Okay,
I'm
there
gonna
we
go
go.
Jeff.
I actually am
I'm gonna go-
surprised.
I'm gonna go Jeff.
I'd rather have Corey Pecker, I think.
I wouldn't.
Really?
I know Mo asked the question because the easiest thing to do is to rely on the body of work. But if you're building a team, you're not building it in the past. You're building it for the future.
Yeah, which Jeff has done.
And I think Jeff, at this point, in terms of his ability to read the field, his play calling, his
Mechanical skill.
well,
That's
mechanical
probably his worst attribute, all
but
things considered, but
same
it's
for
still good.
Same for Corey, by the way, right? Like neither
Yeah.
of them are Kevin Wyeth, right? I think they'd both admit that. But Jeff Rosenblatt too, while he's not a like it's the Drew Brees thing, right? Like he can't throw the ball through a piece of toilet paper. But Jeff Rosenblatt's ball placement is excellent. It's excellent.
Yeah, he's got much better. But you wonder if Corey didn't miss. I mean, obviously with COVID and stuff, and seasons being canceled because of C-19. If Corey had played those years during C-19 and right after that, is the conversation different?
Maybe. And I think, again, like we're splitting hairs also. Like
Yeah.
I don't want this to sound like I think Corey Pecker's terrible.
We're trying to create a beef with those two guys.
No,
you know?
0%.
It's like Tupac and Biggie over there, you know?
0%. I think Corey Pecker's excellent. Obviously, if he's on your team, you have a chance to win a championship.
By the way, they'll play
But
each
I
other.
think that's the case with Jeff Rosenblatt as well.
Right.
And I'm just more impressed by what he's done and what he can continue to do. But continue, Mo.
But they'll play each other June 11th in Brossard on Sunday
Yeah.
nights. So that's going to be the match. But then that could actually determine like a passport to being a top 4 team or fighting between 5, 6, 7, and 8 with those two teams going at it. It's going to be fun to see. I think that might be a game over, 80 points total?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the over.
Yeah, I take the over in that one for
Last
sure.
thought here, Mo.
Yeah,
I know you
single.
mentioned like you want to finish usually top 5, and you kind of know who they are. Can you make an argument that the only goal for the regular season is to not finish last because anyone has a chance in the finals, or do you still want an upper seed?
I really believe like winter this past season we were again close to not having the top 2 seeds or at least one of the top 2 seeds in the final, and it ended up not being what it is. Right, the 1 seed never won. I'm convinced that whoever the 1 seed will be will not win the championship. I think we're gonna have a 3 or 4 seed that will win it this year, and the 1 seed has won quite convincingly.
Once again,
No
by 80
5
points.
It'll be 1 versus 2, as we all expected.
as we all thought. All right. Oh boy, Division E. What the hell's wrong with this question?
Smooth transition, by the way.
What is this? What's this question from Iggy?
So it's because the team name is stupid. Not you two. Keep insisting that their upcoming jerseys will explain their team name. Will we be disappointed?
I'm already disappointed.
I know, right? They didn't have their jerseys for that picture. They had other jerseys for this past week, and Jason Leclerc told me that wait till you see our new jerseys, and then like you'll have a great story for the podcast.
And we're still waiting for that story.
Yeah. So will we be disappointed by the story? Is how we'll start the topic.
Okay, so
It's not that complicated. Will we be disappointed? Is the question.
no, I don't think so.
So you think it's a great story?
They're a good team though, not you two.
It's not the question.
I think the uniforms will be cool because when you look at the history.
But will we be disappointed by the story behind the uniform?
No, we won't. They have a little bit of a style and profile when it comes to uniform making, and I think their uniforms will be nice if and when they do get it. Hopefully, they will by Tuesday, June 6th, when they play the Hot Pasta boys at Mary Vic. But this team is really, really impressive.
Yeah, but before we get there, Eagle, do you think it'll be disappointing?
No, I trust Jason.
I just don't know why it's a question. That's the thing that bothers me about the team name.
It's got to be either making fun of a trend, or like the Spider-Man meme type of thing, or
like
maybe it's like a Caesar Brute type of thing, or whatever. I don't know. There's it clearly there's a backstory here, right? There has to be one, and I feel like the payoff has to be worth it because I'm invested, right? Like it can't not be good because if it isn't, then I will be disappointed in myself for having hyped myself up.
It's like a movie. It's like a movie that you're excited for, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I was like, all right, this should be great. And
Fast 10.
Yeah, Fast 10. Yeah, same thing. Got excited for that, and it was a flame out.
F is for family.
First of all, that's not possible.
Well,
it has the greatest thespian of our time, Vincent Diesel.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
the man of
Mark Sinclair.
many lives over there.
I was just gonna say Mark Sinclair.
But the other part of this I want to dissect before we get into talking about Nacho 2 is not before that. Pasta arrabbiata. Eagle, I worked with someone once who was insistent that the dish was called pasta arrabbiata. And I was like, I could assure you
There's no C's.
There's no C's. There's no C's. We were both at this game, Mo.
Yes, we were.
Not you two and...
Can I appreciate the jerseys of this team?
Yeah,
in that they're all yellow, but they're all what I imagine is their favorite team.
Yeah, that's right. That's the whole concept of it.
I like this. I like this idea.
Yeah,
this was who?
Joe Marghese and the boys for Pasta.
Oh, Pasta arrabbiata, yeah.
Yeah, these guys are all fans of these teams. But
Two Steelers fans.
Yeah, but Joe. What's surprising? Joe's a Carolina fan. You know, of all teams, right? Especially in the East End.
So, but you know what? As an East Ender, I will say
He's
that
one of the rare ones.
I had both home and away Kerry Collins jerseys because those jerseys when they came out were fire.
Yeah, they were cool.
They haven't aged well at all, but at the time that was a sick.
You know what
color
hasn't
scheme.
aged well? The Broncos uniform. They need to upgrade.
I'm a little bit upset though because I used to like Emilio Greco, but now I have to hate him because he likes the Eagles.
Yeah, that makes him a bad
But
person.
it's a cool look though. But like for Joe Marghese in the East End, where it's Steeler fans, Cowboy fans, Miami Dolphin fans.
Man, we're more complex people than you.
Yeah, exactly. He's like Carolina. When he said Carolina, he's like me. I love Carolina. Carolina, like
so
what, Hurricanes.
What do you mean by you people?
Yeah, you people exactly.
No, again, I think is that just shows Joe Marghese's age because again, I remember when those jerseys came out and it was fire. It was like pasta arrabbiata hot.
You know what they got to bring back? The original Jaguar uniforms. The current ones are terrible.
Well, not this, but next week's Tuesday game, like the Week 5 game versus Not You 2. I'm worried for Pasta arrabbiata because I think Not You 2 have the way better athletes, and even though they put up great performances in the last couple of weeks, I feel like this is going to be a matchup nightmare. So even though it's in their home turf,
I think Not You 2 shouldn't have been in Division E. The combination of skill and institutional flag knowledge is too high, and we saw it this week when they took on
Texas
Chooches.
They toyed with them.
Yeah, well, it was bad. It was bad. Kid and Dewey Hall doing whatever you wanted, running whenever you wanted, had open receivers constantly. The fact that there was even incomplete passes is
shocking.
It shows that they didn't take them seriously enough. Basically, that's what that means.
Yeah, they don't have the speed though, past the boys to do that. Like I don't think.
But I don't think they'll want to play them that way. Like that's kind of what the issue was with Texas Chooches is they kind of tried to race them on a slick track.
Right.
But like I knowing those dudes at Pasta arrabbiata, they're gonna muddy it up. They're gonna clutch. They're gonna hold. They're gonna infuriate, and try and anger Not You 2.
Yeah. And that might be the way to go with it, right? To kind of like to really put some sandpaper into the game and try to get them off their game whatever way they can. Which for Joe's team, I score kept their game 2 weeks ago in Laval, which they won 38-27. They have to, and the reason why they won that game by that scoreline is that they created turnovers. And funny enough, Joe Marghese created the turnovers with his INTs, right?
No, but the dude's an incredibly intelligent player.
Yes, he is. He's no question.
And he's quicker than he is.
Yeah, he is deceptive, right? So if he can create or if someone on this team can create a turnover or two and they punch it in for points, maybe it becomes a little more dicey. But I just think that it's a mismatch right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the horsepower to keep up with them.
So, having watched Texas Chooches,
Yeah.
Giuliano DiNardo has a chooch. The dude has a big arm.
Right.
But it's essentially all he's trying to do is rifle the ball downfield. And that's not the game, man. That's not particularly successful in FPF. Sure, if you're Fred Dupree and you can get away with it in Division B because you're uniquely talented,
right.
great. But Giuliano
Maybe-
DiNardo, you're not a unicorn, bro. Like you're not even a narwhal. Like you're a talented dude. You got some wheels. You move too much in the pocket. There was open receivers underneath. You're not even looking.
Maybe 6D. Maybe 6D you can do.
Well, but
play
again, this is
ball.
Division E. It's fine. It's not going
Yeah.
to work against Not U2 because again,
No.
that's a team that shouldn't be in a division.
No.
And they had to know that going in, so they're cowardly for registering for this division.
So Jason Leclerc's a coward.
Yeah, Jason LeCoward.
LeCoward, yeah, we'll call him
There we
that. LeCoward. Jason LeCoward. We'll
The-
call him
how
that.
did you guys miss last week? Coward Wolowski.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Yeah,
That's
no.
the
I
name.
blame Iggy for that one. Okay, so meat lovers off the cow, as Iggy put that in there. So I scorecard this game. They played.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, exactly. They played Houday, 20-20 game. It was
Sorry, say it properly.
Houday. They played to a 20-20 game. Final score here. It was an awful game to scorekeep. It was, oh my goodness, it was so bad. I feel like Houday.
I watched the first half.
Yeah, the first half was slow, and then the second half was slower.
Oh God, really?
Yeah,
No.
it was bad. But meat lovers only got the tie because of the onside, and they were able to
Not
convert.
only Mo. You're forgetting Tom Gatehouse taking a safety in the first half.
That's right. And those two key points
Or-
here. So
Yeah.
like,
No, it's the second half, I guess.
yeah,
That's the converts because meat lovers elsewise did not convert.
No, they didn't. And Manny Bezogias, good quarterback, who has to find his football. He lost at Brossard, trying to find out as you speak. They missed plays because they could have won this game. They could have really won this game, but they just couldn't. They didn't get going early in the matchup. And Houday, Tom Gatehouse, I mean, the guy has players on his roster.
A lot of drop balls.
Yeah, the
a
guys
lot
that
of
you
drop
played,
balls
you
in
played
this one.
guys you played with. And it was-
yes, and so yes, Eagle. But having watched it or watched the first half anyway, I think that Tom Gatehouse was making his life more difficult than it had to be. There was concepts he could have called. There was stuff open, and he was just locking in to Bryden Streeter too often, and just not going through his progressions. It's like you have a prototype of quarterbacks you play with, Eagle, and they all do that, right?
But his max, Tom Gatehouse, right?
Bryden does not look like that.
Holy cow, looks like what's the Gallagher guy from the Oasis band?
Oh, Noel or Liam?
I think Noel. Yeah, looks like Noel. He literally looks like Noah Groper.
Noel Groper.
Yeah, Noah Groper. He's
It's
got
actually Lewis Tomlinson from One Direction.
okay.
Because apparently the story was, according to Bryden, he's a professor teacher. They have Googled his name, found the picture of our website, and memed him around the school. So he asked us to change his profile picture. And so I asked, who do you want? And he said, just put anything. And so, of course, I asked Tom Gatehouse, who do you want me to put? And he said, well, we call him this. And I'm like, say no more, fam.
FPF quote unquote fame is the crappiest level of celebrity on
yeah,
earth.
that's like the lowest common denominator.
The amount of times I walk into a kitchen at work and I'm talking to a class, and then as I'm leaving, a dude comes up to me and says, "Hey, are you on the Flag Football Podcast?" It's crappiest level celebrity.
Yeah, it's
Public service announcement, real quick.
yeah.
Manny Bezogias' ball seems to have been taken by someone who doesn't own that ball.
Yes, that's right.
So if anyone took a Wilson TDJ,
Houday.
who I reached out, apparently they left it behind at the field. But hopefully,
Yeah.
if someone did take it accidentally, please return to Manny Bezogias. It's so hard when you're a quarterback, once you have a ball you're comfortable with,
It's a romance.
to so I didn't know this. I learned this was possible because of Kevin Wyeth, by the way. My ball disinflated on the inside, like
Yeah.
the balloon on the inside, and I had it unstitched and repaired.
Right, you can do that.
I didn't know. Kevin Wyeth
Yeah.
has done it a couple times to his ball,
Yeah.
and now I've had it done twice to my ball.
Yeah.
So it's really important to get a ball you're comfortable with, and so please, if if you're taking some dude's ball and keeping it, you're just the worst human being on
Yeah.
earth.
Well, I mean, there's a lot worse than that.
Nope,
but
double Hitler.
It's very awful to take someone's football like that, though.
Yeah.
By the way,
Worse
one
than
thing-
9/11.
No, you are 9/11.
just
You're the
quick-
9/11 of flag
football.
football.
Ju-
Yeah.
Just quickly here for meat lovers, they got to start producing points though, and that's a big knock on them because they don't they scored 32 in the week one against Texas Wales, which was a complete mess in its own right. But since then, 20 points, 19 points, 20 points. Not going to win any football games by doing that.
I mean, maybe if he had his ball.
We had his ball. He had his ball, right? But
Well, maybe you'll find one now that's more comfortable to him.
yeah, but
So.
they got to start producing points though for meat lovers. I'm not confident in them that they can do so.
Hey. Did you ever, when you eat? No, yes, you couldn't because of the pork in it. But
Right.
Eagle, did you ever eat a Meat Lover's pizza?
Yes.
I never
Actually,
found it
I had
to be.
I had a friend we used to make fun of because he was actually Muslim, and we would order him the triple pork one.
Oh,
This is
boy.
basically what it was, and he'd eat it, but he knowingly what
Yeah.
it was, and it just became a thing. So yeah, he was the meat lovers man.
I don't know. I remember it from my youth. I don't. Is it still a thing? Meat Lovers?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. still.
Eagle. Research.
Yeah. Look at
Yes,
pizza.
meat lovers is still a thing
Why is it not on the screen?
Yeah, look
because I don't
online.
need to research. I know it. I can order it.
well-
Can you go online and see what the price points are for
Yeah.
that, please? Thank you so much.
We'll
Okay.
wait. We'll wait.
As he's doing that, we'll
Fine.
go to the next conference. Start him, sit him, cut him. So the quarterback edition, you got George Spano from Only Flags, Nick DeLessi from Pasta Arabatia, and Matthew. Is it Cadogan or Cadigan? Because
Delisi is the name.
DeLessi, sorry. Because when I
I
called,
believe it's Cadigan.
okay, because the guy that I called Miguel, he went Cadogan. So I don't want to insult him if it's Cadogan or if it's Cadigan, right? Anyway,
Reach out. Tell us if we're pronouncing it wrong, and we will not
Right.
change.
so who you got? Who you got sitting, starting, and cutting?
I'm going to start George Spano.
He's a great quarterback.
I like him a lot. He reached out to me for some questions before the season. But I told him, I was like, dude, I think you just have a lot of natural talent. And yeah, sure, here's some help. But like, he's a dude who I think will figure it out really quickly. He hasn't played that much in FPF, but to me, it's pretty clear that that he's going to take his strides. You know what I mean? Like, I think he throws a nice ball. It's catchable. Once he basically learns to really go through his concepts, I think that's what we'll see. And by the way, 15-2 to start the season.
Right.
Don't forget, he didn't throw that first week. And so since he's thrown, obviously Only Fly's looking better. My other two options were Nick DeLisi and
Matthew Cadigan.
I will sit Nick DeLisi. Look, 3-1 touchdown interception ratio is fine. Maybe 10 years ago in FPF,
Right.
you'll go 5-5 with that. Now 4-1 is a bare necessity.
Right.
But I do like the 63% completion percentage. You want to be around 65%. I do think he's hovering the 100-ish quarterback rating. I do like all that. Not throwing for a ton of yards. I think they can open it up a little bit. He can throw for more yards per pass. I think specifically the intermediate area is what he's got to improve on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of like check down or chuck it. And then Matthew Cadigan is a really great athlete, but I think Primetime have yet to find their quarterback.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Spano. I've score kept Cadigan's games all season long outdoors at Loyola this year. I'm going to sit him. I'm going to cut DeLisi. I think Cadigan has great potential.
So, but the last 3 games have been against some of the worst opponents in the
Yeah,
division.
I think he has potential, though. I think he.
But I say that I think that about DeLisi as well.
DeLisi. See, I find DeLisi's limited in terms of his wealth at quarterback, whereas Cadigan, he one thing he's got to do better, Matthew Cadigan, is read the field.
He's not being the field.
No, Alessio Moro, like there's some good players on this team for prime time.
That's it. They're relying on their athleticism and
They
beating
are.
up on lesser
Yeah,
teams,
Keon,
and they have a great defense as they always have.
right.
But like,
But I would sit him because I think he has potential to be a decent quarterback in this
they
league.
also have a great schedule. Jeez.
Who you talking about prime time?
Yeah, Minka FT, Ben Don't Break, Hude, meat lovers, Area 69, only flags. Like, there's not a ton of challenges up ahead.
Well,
of
no,
them.
Houdet is going to give them some challenges.
Ish, but Houdet's not scoring a ton.
No, Minkia's decent. They're
Yeah,
what, they're
that's
undefeated
one
right
of
now. They're 5-0
Yeah,
now.
that's the
Right.
one, right? Like, Minkia and Only Flags, to me, are the two tough
Yeah.
matchups. Houdet, again, like, yes, Houdet can win that game, but, like, whatever. Like, it's almost a pick 'em, right?
Right, but Delise is going to play who this week? Jason Leclerc's team, right? With the new uniforms.
No, of course. Like,
You know, It's-
obviously, to me, George Spano's the clear favorite of the
Yeah.
three. But I think with Cadigan, I just think I would like to see his skill set elsewhere. And I think Primetime could do better at quarterback with Cadigan as a receiver and DB.
Well, that's a question I think we'll have to answer probably after the season, right? If he's the guy to go with long term. All right, women's. So I saw some.
Wait. Before we move on, I just want to
Yes.
show peas.
Thank
If you
you,
order
bud.
on Domino's, you can get a pizza, which is pepperoni, ham, savory Italian sausage, and beef crumbled with an extra layer of cheese. And
But
if you
is it loved, however?
And pizza has meat lovers: pepperoni, Italian sausage,
Where's
mild
this one
sausage,
from?
beef topping, ham, bacon,
Pizza,
crumble, and
Pizza Hut has meat lovers?
It's literally called meat lovers.
Oh, but because you see, it's actually a Pizza Hut pizza. Like, it's a registered trademark of
Is
Pizza
this-
Hut. I didn't know
this
that.
It is.
Pizza, right? Yeah.
So, man, Domino's was using that. Not Domino's. Donini was using that unlicensed back in the day.
Yeah, Donini
That's
That
huge.
was pretty solid, Donini. That was classic.
Remember the Donini SARS? That we talked about. I feel like we're in reruns. We've talked about Donini SAR, right?
363-0363, right?
That's the one.
Yeah.
My ex used to work at.
Pizza Donini's.
I dated a girl that worked at a Pizza Donini back in like college or high school or whatever, and yeah, that was the phone number. I'd call her
Yeah.
at work.
Don't you have that really good pizza place in RDP?
Yeah, D'Agostino's, bro.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
You know,
It's fire.
my goal this summer is to
Eat pizza?
no, I love pizza.
That was easy.
I love pizza.
Does
but
it have
this-
egg on it though?
yeah, of course. Oh man, the
damn it.
look on his face was priceless, man. On that mid-September nights,
Ruined my life.
it ruined his life for like 4 days. No, my goal is to really get to those unknown pizza spots, right?
D'Agostino's is pretty awesome because it's a wood burning oven, but they make like Montreal fast food style pizza.
Really? Let me look it up here.
Yeah, it's actually near Marie Victorin. It's right after 25.
Really? Well, I'm always in RDP, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get to that next.
You know
time.
how I found out about it because of Stefano Berardi. I had
Oh,
never,
boy,
I
Steph.
had lived there my whole life, never heard about it, and I felt betrayed. I like didn't talk to my parents for a week.
Oh, I know where it is now. I saw it's literally next to. I mean, we can't see
Down
where.
the street.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally off the highway. Okay, on to women. So I saw Sub-Zero play against score.
Got him.
No, you did not get me. You didn't get me, you idiot.
Well done, Ron Burgundy.
I knew you changed it, you fool.
So I love that that's become a part of the show, and people don't know. So we have a script that we go off of every week, and it's a loose structure. We go off of it often, but Mo uses it as like a centering point when Iggy and I, will change topics unexpectedly, and Eagle and Iggy specifically change the script to try and trip Mo up. It's become a game happening within the show.
Yeah. Anyway, I knew right away, like, this guy's an idiot. All right, so look, there's not really much to say about this game, to be honest with you. Like,
Sub-Zero is going to win a championship. Just crown him.
they are. Like, that's reality, right? This is what you call a super team of a Galacticos. This is what it is. This is the epitome of what the NBA has tried to aspire. This is what we have in FPF. These are all alpha female players who are amazing at the highest level of flag football that they play. And
360 yards. For
yeah,
Sarah
and she
Parker.
could have thrown for more, Sarah Parker. That's my point. Like, she could have gone for 4 bills, if not for some drops. Like, she's,
And this is more like asked to for 349 last week.
yeah, like it's
You double check. I believe those are the two.
like, can we have
Those are the
co-quarterback of the
two,
year?
394.
394. Oh, that's okay.
Like, we have
So it's the high.
co-quarterback of the year. Like, I mean, it's.
They're on the same team.
I know. That's what I'm saying, though, right? Like, it's like. Anyway, the point is that they're going to run through this division. And, like, I know it's not the best of the women's caliber because a lot of the women's teams play in outdoor touch tournaments now and during the spring, summer months here. But it's an impressive number that Sarah Parker threw up against the Rock. And, both quarterbacks are great. But, man, it's Sarah Parker might not throw an INT this year in this division.
So I got to watch a little bit of that game, and she just rolled up and was like, "Freeze to meet you," and I love her delivery. She has this really like over the top delivery, throwing like this outside hook, and
Right.
the ball just exploded out of her hand to get there. It was pretty awesome. Like honestly, I've been a fan since I've seen her play the first time, and every time I see her play, I'm more and more impressed.
I think the only knock on her is that we're waiting for her to win to win the winter season women's division.
Yeah.
And be the queen of the matter,
hard.
right? Yeah, it's hard.
Like there's not I don't think we'll have a lot of repeat winners in that division. You know what I mean?
No, because they all know each other very well, right? From playing each other. So
yeah. And Mo, do you know what killed the dinosaurs?
Radio.
No, the Ice Age.
yeah.
You're doing a Batman and Robin thing, man.
So
Well, it's just that like
We need Batman.
Sub-Zero was imposing their will, and the Rock looked back and they said, you gotta lay off, and then Sub-Zero said, my condition has left me cold to your pleas.
I didn't watch the movie.
It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna stop because you didn't
I
see the
know.
movie, Mo.
I know. You carry
It's
on.
not by
with
his
your
fault. You had 20-something years to watch this movie and
I didn't
didn't.
see the movie, unfortunately not. Okay, so Red Nation. We continue on the Red Nation.
Welcome home, Frostface.
Their offensive.
The Iceman cometh. I'm afraid
This show's gonna
that
take
my
off.
condition has left me cold
top
to your
right.
pleas of mercy.
I think the makers of that movie were so embarrassed that there's no copyright.
Of course not. Speaking of copyright, so Red Nation's offensive woes, they've only had one game where they scored more than 12 points, which is not good, and then 2 games where they scored only 6 points or less.
I feel like I've heard this story before.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like that's so.
This is an Iggy question. I didn't put this in the script.
Pease wrote it.
Oh, you wrote this? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was Iggy. Carry on.
No, it just my point was, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, Rachel Valère is really taking off as the number one receiver.
She's
for
got to
this
leave that team. She's got to play.
That's okay. Jeez.
She's got to go women's one next year, man.
I was saying, how do we improve this team? She could also play both divisions, by the way.
I know, but I'm saying that she's wasting her talents though. Like it's like
Wasting her, though. Jesus.
I told her that. I go.
Oh, flamethrower over here.
No, but it's not being flamethrower. I said, listen, like Rochelle, you're an incredible player, and I feel like you're not being like this. Your individual success is not equal to what the team success has been. It's been lack of. And if she was in a hard division where she plays better competition and she'd be respected for it, I score kept that game for Red Nation last Thursday in Laval, where they couldn't move the ball. And Alison Sobel was back for that game. She had a bit of a break to come back down to Montreal from training camp with the Alouettes. And you saw it, right? She wasn't in sync with her receiving core. And, they're 1-2-1. They'll be okay. I think when she comes back, she's back officially as of this weekend and beyond. So that's going to be fine. But, they got to figure out how to get more of a rhythm with the other receivers, not named Rochelle, who has bailed this team out week in and week out with a clutch play here and there. And
look, Lamise has had to throw a little bit, which is not necessarily as comfortable, but she actually played pretty well. I just don't know what to say anymore. I feel like we're not even picking on them. They've been presenting us the same information over and over and over. Wildcats, we know they improved.
They're good
tremendously
Wildcats.
through
They're
the
very
end
good.
of last season, right?
Yeah,
so
they're very good.
we knew they were going to be a lot better. Touchdown for What's a team that's struggling a little bit, so like maybe Red Nation can take advantage, but it feels like if they don't get a defensive victory, they don't win.
No, because look, right now, if you ask me to do a power rankings, and I've been lucky enough to see some women's games this year compared to years past, Wildcats are definitely in this division, for Division 2, that is. Wildcats for sure. Blue Thunder, I think, have surpassed Red Nation. Supernova have not seen yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing them play at some point. Even the Petite Miette, they've had a rough start, but they're no slouches. Like, they are a good team. They had some unfortunate losses to Blue Thunder, and they lost in the last possession to another team back in week 3, week 4. So they could easily be 3-1 Ps and not be 1-3. And I think for Red Nation now, they've been caught and surpassed by these younger, more in tune teams that have been together because they played flag football beyond the FPF world.
I don't know. I mean, so did Red Nation though, right? Like that's their whole thing. Didn't they play flag at
They're
venue?
Jay Cutler. It's either good Jay Cutler or bad
Jeez.
Jay Cutler, right?
I mean,
and
I
that's
feel-
what they are.
I
They're-
don't feel that's a good comparison because I don't actually believe there was ever. Sorry, it's not that I don't believe. Statistically, there was never a good Jay Cutler. If you actually look at advanced analytics, he was always a bad quarterback. Adam Gase is the ruiner of football.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
we digress.
Step back football about 30 years, but that's it though. Like I mean, look, their schedule. If we look at it quickly here for Red Nation, Eagle, if you don't mind putting up on the screen for our viewers.
Red Nation, sure.
Red Nation, please. Thank you. They should win this week, right? Red Nation should be touchdown for what? So we'll give them that 2-2-1, and Allison will be back for that game. And then after, look, you play Supernova. As we have discussed, so they play Supernova, not an easy game at all. And then you get the Rock, which is a women's one team, and they're not going to be a slouch for them to beat.
Yeah.
Then Blue Thunder, I think, that's the game that I'm circling is the Blue Thunder game. Because that is, I think, a fork in the road for both teams because Blue Thunder can say, hey, are we now a team that's going to be in that conversation for women's 2 finals? Or is Red Nation going to find themselves and surpass that and keep them at arm's length at least?
They just feel like a middle of the pack team.
That's what
in
they
this
are.
division,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it just sucks because I want them to make the next stride. Like,
What is the next stride for them, though, please? Like,
they should at this point they should be at the top of the division.
but they're not, though. They're not. But
Like, there's
Ro-
talent on the team though. Like
but the-
Nikki Limonadis is really good. Rachel Valliere is ridiculous. Lamise Aljundi is really good, especially defensively. And I like Alison Sobel. There's times where I'm watching her throw and I'm like, wow, she's amazing. And then other times it just doesn't click, and I can't even explain why. I wish I had better analysis. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't understand
Yeah.
why it doesn't always look as good as it can look. You know.
No, and they look. Thankfully, they'll have 6 games with Sobel back, right? Because the Owls are now officially back as of today, if not tomorrow, with their final preseason game on Friday, and they'll be back in the season. So they'll have her back, which is good news for the team. But they gotta start putting some wins together because I don't think they can go far if they're gonna be a low end team.
I will say, like for the Rock, like Caroline Menal hasn't put up a ton of points either. I know they're women's one,
Right.
but I think that they can make that game ugly. And like, hey, if it comes down to, just execution, and if it becomes a 1-score game, why not?
Right.
Why not them? You know. But they almost need a defensive score. They need the other team to turn the ball over. They need a lot to go right for them to see success.
For sure. Le Petit Miette, we were mentioning them before. Winning their last game, Marianne Struthers, off to a good start,
Well,
perhaps.
she's on pace to have her best season. so far.
Yeah.
She's on pace for 67 catches, and she already has, I think, 4 touchdowns in 4 games.
So what else do they have to do?
6 touchdowns in 4 games.
Right. So what else do they have to do in terms of the development on the offensive side of the ball to really become a legitimate threat?
So, I don't think you can key in on one receiver and be successful in flag football at any level. And while obviously Esther Morin Struthers is really good, I do think we need to see more from Rachel Shea. Marie-Pierre Dalpé's had moments in FPF before. So seeing her targeted 16 times through 9 games, it's fine. It's okay. But, like, I just feel as though, like, okay, she's there averaging a little under 9 yards a catch. Maybe open it up a little bit for her. And then Alicia Lepin, I get it. She's been also involved, but it just feels as though everything runs through Esther Morin Struthers. And I want to see just more impact from other receivers on the team. And outside of those two, outside of Alicia Lepin and Esther Morin Struthers, not a single player has double-digit catches so far.
So I've been blessed to see this team play a few times now. I think it comes down to play calling from MCV. What she has as a quarterback in Morgan Casimano Valois, when they played Blue Thunder, they were driving to win that game.
Mhm.
It was the last play of the game. They were at the 16-yard line. I remember this play because I was like, okay, 16-yard line. Okay, cool, let's go. She gets the ball. She snaps it, gets the ball. Rather than throw into the end zone, she underhanded a pass to a streaking receiver doing a cross over the middle at 5 yards.
Seems safe.
From the LOS. So the person caught it at the 11-yard line got deflagged. Not even in the red zone. this play calling has to be, I think, better for them. And if they have a better play calling, I think that will open up things for the other receiving members on that team. Not even against others, right? So I think that's going to be key is can MCV have a better menu of plays to utilize her core? Because you're right, Peace. It's a good core to have, but I don't think they've been utilized very well this season.
And, the schedule is tough. Like, they have Wolfpack ahead, and then in 2 weeks, when they go face Sub-Zero, will they show up and say, you're not sending me to the cooler?
No.
So,
there might be a little bit of Johnny Cage in there,
Johnny Cage, wrong. What?
All
right. And that's not the game we're playing, Mo.
I know.
We're not doing the Mortal Kombat thing. That was 2 weeks ago. We're doing a Batman and Robin thing. It's not my fault you didn't see the movie. It came out in 1997. I thought that's Mo Khan's era for pop culture.
Man, I didn't watch that with Schwarzenegger, man. I was in India for the movie came out, man. I was not.
I'm sure it came out in India.
It did, but no. Like the way it works is that now it's probably different. But back in the day, obviously, be North American release July 4th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Europe would get it like a month later.
Yeah.
And then India, forget about it. They must have got like a year later.
Yeah.
From where it was. So I don't know when it came out though.
One of my favorite bits of trivia from that movie was that Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to smoke continuously while filming the movie, so they painted his cigars white so that he could smoke a frozen cigar throughout the filming of the movie. That's how much he mailed it in. He got paid $27 million, and he made 27 ice puns. He got paid $1 million per pun.
He's good with the puns.
It was awesome.
Bits takes
Great
on
movie.
So Bit takes on Wolfpack in week 5. So is this a must-win? They both are 1-2 right now. A win by either side puts them in the top 4, perhaps, right? Unless Red Nation falter.
Ask the question, Mo.
So the question is, who needs this to win more?
They both equally needed the same amount because they played the same amount of games, and the same amount of teams make the playoffs because they're in the same division. So equal.
Okay.
I love that because in real life, IRL, when you're here, you ask the right question, but then on the script, you just became Mad Dog Russo and asked like I love when they do that in sports media where instead of just asking the question they mean, they have to disguise it for some reason, like with platitudes like who needs it more. They both need it identically as much, but what do you mean by that question?
Well, did I put that question in there? I don't remember.
No, you wrote that one.
Oh man,
sorry, you wrote that one.
Yeah, like dude, I'm trying to remember, man. The script was so I'm busy with the Alliance, man. It's been crazy. Oh no, I'm saying that from a sense that they can put themselves in that conversation for a top 4, right? And you look at,
but it would be the same scenario for both teams.
No, it is. But the thing is that we look at the schedule for both teams. It's left for games, right? You would have to imagine that they're not going to have the same schedule, and then one's going to have probably a tougher schedule than the other.
It is roughly the same. But I mean, BIT has Les Petits Miens ahead. They have Sub-Zero ahead. Red Nation. I know it sounds like we're always complaining about Red Nation, but we're just complaining because we want better for them. But they're a good team.
Yeah, good group of people as well.
And Blue Thunder's fun. They're fun and plucky.
I love Blue Thunder. It's my home girls.
So are they winning the championship?
I think they are. Book it. They're going to be in the finals in August.
But are they winning the championship?
Yeah, August 7th.
Let's do it.
They're finishing like 3rd or 4th seed or something.
And Blue Thunder, 1 and done in the playoffs. No 5 plays. Yeah, I'm gonna put
80-0 again. Jeez,
you know what? I'm gonna put them in there. Yeah, I think Kevin Lubin. He's not coaching from the sidelines. He's coaching from afar, allowing these girls to learn.
They're improved a lot from.
Yeah, but that was his
season,
plan
right?
though. He said the plan was when they played winter. This past season is that next winter's where they would want to compete for silverware, right, and to win the championship. But now the curve or the process is probably shortened by that because if they do win now or get into that Final Four conversation, we're gonna have higher expectations for them come winter 2024.
And I like Chloe Small as a very imposing force in the team.
Yeah,
it's a team that, again, they just felt young. Is that? You know what I mean? Like they felt young in comparison, like to the university teams in winter.
of course, but that's because
But they are young.
They are young. They're
CJF
CJF
girls,
students. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like you kind of saw physically, it kind of manifested that way.
Yeah.
But now they're realizing, not even like consciously, but just with the familiarity of the game, the moment doesn't seem bigger than them. It doesn't seem like they show up to the game and like, oh no, we got to face these teams.
So all this to say that Blue Thunder is going to be BIT in week 11.
Yes.
Perhaps
and then
they're
if
good.
we take a look at Wolfpack
So wait, who
schedule-
needs it more is so then BIT needs it more, I think, is how
No,
that
because
goes.
Blue Thunder's also playing Wolfpack in week 6.
Oh, but Wolfpack plays Sub-Zero in
The last
the
week.
last
yeah.
week,
Yeah.
you know, and it just makes me think, you know, like, will they show up and say like, "Stay cool, bird boy"?
I mean, it is middle of July. If there's a month you want to be cool in, it's
That's
that
the
one.
one. That's the one.
Of
you know?
course. All right.
All right, everyone.
Div
chill.
C. Last team to remain undefeated will be who? Diamond Bougie, Backyard Bullies, Sharks, Bible Study, or Bissett?
We let Bible study off the hook, man. They were missing their 4 best players, and we were terrible.
How the hell you lose to Bible Study?
Oh, dude, it was bad. It was bad. Oh, I deserve 2 losses. Hudson Sports should take 2 losses for that game.
Yeah, but you know, Bible Study's they've been very, like,
No, you don't understand.
I know, but
you
they've
don't
been,
understand the roster that was on the field.
you know what, though? Like, they've been very glitchy, though, Bible Study of late, because they barely tied Primal, and Primal could have won, you know, and,
Yeah,
and
but-
they barely beat you guys, you know.
No, but they should have not
I know,
beat
but I'm
us.
just saying that, look, they get killer race this week.
If you saw the 2 rosters when you got there,
Yeah.
Hot Sauce Sports was favored by 2.5
By 50?
scores. No, like you saw it was like, okay, this is a 16 point, 17 point win for Hot Sauce Sports. It wasn't like it was. Kudos to them. Kudos to Rocco Cristiano because he was great.
Right.
Given all that, that game should not have gone that way. Plain and simple. And that's the thing. When you have a 10-game season, you can't let teams off the hook. And when they don't have their full roster, you got to punish them. And they scored with 3 plays remaining, and it shouldn't have been close.
But you know what? When you look at the top 7, I know we have a lot of undefeated. It's more of who's the last team standing to be undefeated. But
Diamond Bougie took a Hail Mary to win their game.
right, a win's a win. Can't take that away from them, right? But when the top 7, there's a combined 2 losses within the top 7 teams in this division. Man, it's gonna be
Div C's insane.
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Div C's insane.
It's
Div
gonna
C,
be a bloodbath.
there's well, we'll talk about that other part later, but there's no real bad teams.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna go Bissett. Like Bissett, I like a lot, but I don't think they'll go undefeated. Sharks is who I'm starting.
Sharks are the best team in the division.
100%
They
Sharks.
they shouldn't be in this division. Already, the quarterback shouldn't be in this division.
Kowalski, Woloski.
Because who won the Division C championship the last time it was played?
Kowalski, Woloski.
Yeah. So why is he playing in his division? I don't understand. And then on top of that, the roster includes Dondre Borden, Max Bira, and Kwesi Gordon Mall. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a hell of a Div C,
Cool.
Div B team over there. But
Yeah, it's a Div V team playing in
Yeah.
Division C. I think Backyard Bullies, similarly, I don't think Sean Avram should be throwing this division.
and they smashed Trap Stars, did they not? By 20.
Yeah, Trapstars,
We're not happy.
you're not happy, and maybe show some class in the handshake line.
You know, it is going to be construction holidays coming up at the end of July.
Okay.
It's letting you know.
It's always construction holidays.
It is. A lot of construction comes out there.
But yeah, like I Bessel Lepat, I think their defense has helped carry them a little bit, but like they're gonna be challenged a little more throughout the season. To me, the top of this class is Sharks, and
100%.
Diamond Bougie are just never out of a game. Like they're literally like the game this week here, 37-33 against Junkyard Dogs.
Yeah.
I was standing next to who's their snap? What's his name again? Brockwell.
Yeah.
I forget his first name momentarily.
Chris Brockwell?
Chris Brockwell. That's it. And he was all but celebrating. They were lining up for the Hail Mary. He turned around to grab his bag and like sort of zip it up to watch the final play. Before he heard it, he just heard screaming. He turns around and he's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." and Jules Reginball just unleashed the ball.
Right.
And there was a bunch of dudes standing on the goal line, and it just landed into the hands of Arthur Doyon from 49 yards away. They were on the one.
That's crazy.
They were on the one. Junkyard Dogs punted to put them on the one. And nobody defended the middle of the end zone. It just landed in the chest of Arthur Doyon.
A loss is a loss.
Yeah. Again, then what's the point of a podcast, Mo?
I know, no, I'm saying a loss is a loss, but man, to lose like that
Of course.
is
But
awful.
like to me, Diamond Bougie are a team. They'll probably finish 7-3, 8-2. They're gonna have losses just
Yeah.
because you're not gonna get away with that constantly, right?
No, you won't.
And they were outplayed for most of the second half.
Yeah, and I think, I've done one Diamond Bougie game. They're gonna be okay. I think you're bang on with 7-8 wins. Backyard Bullies they'll suffer loss at some point here. I think they'll be okay. But you know what? I'll give you a quick team here. They're not undefeated though. But a special shout out to the commission. They're 3-1. We all thought this would be a team that would struggle, but
I didn't think so.
But they're 3-1. They're now in that race of being a for sure top 8 team if they continue at this clip here.
Well, they had Carmen Police throwing for a game,
Yeah.
which helped. But the issue on the team isn't talent. It's always, consistency of the roster, and the roster's been consistent. So if that's
Yeah.
the case, then expect them to be good.
Yeah, and look, they get Junkyard Dogs next week in June, and then look, this would be a good run for them of where we stand, right? They get Junkyard Dogs and Sharks come
Junkyard
up.
Dogs haven't been good though.
Yeah,
They were good this week. They were
Yeah.
absolutely good this week. But generally this season they have
they
not
should
been
win that game, but then they'll get the Sharks, right? And that could be a top 4 seed at that point, right? If they beat the Sharks, if they could, but again, that's gonna be a tough game anyway that they'll have coming up. Hold on here, I went down too low here. Mint on that. Okay, look,
This is a stupid question.
dude, like
Who wrote the question?
I wrote the question, but dude, like he is.
I love how
he's-
you don't ask it though, because you know I'm gonna make fun of you.
No, but Mint on that, like he's like Jinsley Alexi of the lower divisions. This guy got
There it
super
is.
fast. Like he got so much faster now than where he was a year ago.
dude. Menton Tat has
always been
been
fast.
He's
insane.
been, but I say he's got faster.
No,
Like,
dude,
Who do you think he is, George Livoyer?
I'm only George Olivoy is faster. Well done, Eagle. No, I played with Minton Tat I forget if it was Division 3 or Division B back in days of Moose, and he played against in our first game in Division 3. The quarterback of the other team came on the podcast for Division 3 because back then we had separate podcasts per
oh
division.
right, yes.
And he said, I don't know who that kid is, but he continuously shut down an entire side of the field. Minton Tat is one of the more talented players in FPF who just doesn't play consistently.
No,
He's amazing. And right now, recently, he hasn't even been playing defense, which is his best skill.
dude, the guy caught a 5-yard hook,
He's incredible. Like, he's really good.
and the guy turned it like he had 3 guys conversion. They were playing Mengus on Monday at Stade Montréal, and he literally turned a routine play that should have been for 5 yards and be 2nd and 5 to a touchdown.
He changes. Libre Branlard last season were a team. They kind of were false kings early, and they kind of fell apart at the end of the season. Like we saw it happen.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good win for them though. They needed that win against Mengus, who are struggling. Mengus should not be in this division. That's my.
but that's the thing is to my point is they were missing a piece to make them legitimate, and that's what Minton Tat is to that team. And yeah, sure, they played Mengus. Mengus is one of the teams we expect to be at the bottom of the division. Kudos to them, by the way. No, and I disagree with you. Mo. How dare you criticize a team for showing courage when we have so many cowards in this division?
Well, Iggy and I
Namely,
both agree.
Sean Avram is a coward. Corey Wawalski is a coward. These guys are brave.
Well, Iggy and I agree that they're just in the wrong division.
No, I disagree with you. The other teams are in the wrong division. These guys are in the right division because you should struggle in division. It shouldn't be easy for you. The goal is every team in division goes 5-5 is the dream division.
Well, if that's the case,
That's the case. If you're going to go 10-0, why are you in the division?
well, it depends on the schedule.
Okay, I asked you another question. Why are you in a division if you expect? Because it doesn't.
But-
Because here's the thing, Mo. It doesn't. For the Sharks, it doesn't matter what the schedule is. That's a 10-0 roster.
But in defense of the Backyard Bullies, they got wrecked in Division 3, was it?
Yeah,
Winter?
that's fine. Someone's
And
good.
so I think they had asked to go down in division, right? Because they felt they weren't up to that level of
So is
skill.
Sean Avram a Division C quarterback? Yes or no?
He definitely is, but hold on.
No, I don't think so.
Hold on, let me look at the schedule. Backyard Bullies here. Let's look at the wins over here. Yeah, because I did the Killer Rays, which they won by 1. They beat Primal.
They also beat
comfortably.
Kill. So first of all, I was at that game. There was a billion drops for Backyard Bullies, and Killer Rays were missing Curtis Ryan and Tyler Gerberg. That game should it felt like a blowout, even though Killer Rays came back because Backyard Bullies let them back into the game.
Yeah, look, they've won 2 games by a single point, and they won the other 2 games comfortably. So look, we'll find. Look, they will play you guys. So you know what, Pease? June 13th, circle it.
Oh yeah.
It'll
We're gonna be playing that game angry because when we beat them, we'll know that we beat a higher division team.
This is called the Audible Division Dodger.
Yeah,
That's the
they are.
Audible.
Yeah, I know in his heart of hearts, Sean Abram knows that he wants to be a big fish in a small pond. That's it.
He's the 11th best quarterback in a quarterback of 10.
It's true, he is. When you put it that way, you're right. He's in the right division.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing this thing. You guys are criticizing teams for having courage. Shame on you, Mokan. Shame on you, Iggy. You're both cowards.
We just both said that they're probably better off playing in the lower division. That's all, because Felix.
No, they're doing
Levine
they're
is
doing the
quarterback.
right thing. They're challenging themselves.
Sure.
Look, I know you want an easy life, Mo. These guys actually challenge themselves.
Fair enough then. Speaking of lower division teams here, you look at the lower end: Killer Rays, Green Munch, Junkyard Dogs, Infantry, even LBB and 4th and Shillong. These are all teams who are struggling right now at the gates. But I think the lower end of the division is fascinating because one of those teams can make a run. I think if they sneak into the playoffs.
I don't think there's really a lower end to this division.
There isn't though, but it's fascinating that if the playoffs were to start today and these teams were to qualify, it's not an easy game to have.
I looked at this division going in and I was like, okay, well, like Top Citizen hasn't been together in a while. They're gonna struggle. They haven't. Okay, All Madden lost their quarterback early. That hasn't really mattered for them. Air Force 1.2 didn't really make any changes. They're still fine.
And they won on a Hail Mary, actually. They beat, I'm just trying to remember who they beat on Sunday. Oh, my goodness. I forget. Hold on. I should look at the schedule right now.
So look at that. Well, I hate to talk about other things.
Yeah, they beat Game Changers on Hail Mary.
Yeah. But Game Changers, I looked at that roster. I'm like, that doesn't seem that strong. And they're 3-2. Dirty Birds, I thought they were going to be really strong. They're 1-3. That just shows, it doesn't show that they're weak. Instead, it shows the strength of this entire division.
Yeah.
To me, Division C is one of the more compelling divisions. There's not a game on the schedule that's an easy one.
No.
Unless it's Sharks, because they shouldn't be in the division.
Yeah. The Sharks have, they want to be a big fish in a small pond.
There you go.
There you go. Exactly.
That's the thing I just said. Steve Martin also.
And then it'd be in a sea of killers out there.
152 points scored in 4 games.
Yeah, you're gonna hold that against them.
Yeah.
You know, if you're
Diamond Bushi, because I'm not holding against Diamond Bushi because they're on their way up, right? They're progressing through the divisions.
Yeah.
Like
you won't hold against Killer Rays because they're
Killer Rays again. They fit Division D, by the way. They chose to play Division C because they wanted a challenge.
Yeah, it's a fine challenge. I think they'll be fine. I'm not worried about them at all.
To me, I'm less worried about them than I am about Mengus, to be fair.
I can't wait for you to call it the Div C final and the Sharks lose.
Oh. Well, I won't be calling it. I'll be playing it. So.
Well, if you're not playing, division dodging.
I'll be saying it on the field though. Except to Don Drake, because he's my boy. That dude, that boy could do no wrong in my life. So
Kowalski has dodged the pass rush, but couldn't dodge that interception though.
I'm gonna just my Audible all game will be coward.
I can't wait for June 13th. Co-head 2 and 3.
Isn't it? Oh, June 13th. What's June 13th?
That's your game against them.
Oh, against Backyard Bullies.
Yeah. No, against Sharks.
We don't play Sharks. We play
Backyard Bullies. Beg your pardon. Okay, so the game that I saw from Co-ed. Hold on here. I got the wrong page up here.
Nice.
Co-ed here.
Co-ed which one?
Co-ed 2.
Nice. I got that one open.
Excellent. Was Fit Squad. They had a game against our boys, Kiss My End Zone. Score for score. What it came down to was the pass rushing of Fit Squad that made things difficult for Iggy.
Nope.
Iggy couldn't hit in the red zone. That was another thing too that he couldn't do in the red zone.
He scored 36 points.
But the thing is though, he went for onside early, didn't hit it. He had a red zone INT. Mm-hmm. He got sacked multiple times in the red zone, and
that's not what the issue was. The issue was defensively they didn't have.
No, they got exposed.
They didn't have their best roster.
No, they did not.
They didn't have Erica Dubois, which is a big piece of their defense, and Alexis Dubois was a big piece of their defense.
Who's right now mingling in the Mediterranean right now, apparently, yeah.
Well, that's why they're not there.
Yeah.
Abigail Cockerton's an amazing snapper, but she's not a very good defensive player. And so she's a player who will give you great effort the entire time, but it caused them to struggle. Iggy had an okay game. The turnover in the red zone was the big one. But again,
Hugo Lepin rushing in was also an issue for him as well.
yeah, I think he expected William Brouard to rush. The return of Slim Taye, I think, really shores up the defense in a way.
He picked on him. He dogged Taye a few times because Kenville got him. On
but he has the toughest matchup. He has Kenville.
Yeah.
Like
but
Cole,
they flipped him. They flipped Taye to the other side to
which
avoid.
is fun, but that's what they should be doing because Taye is a good like in basketball you have guys who are good help defenders.
Yeah.
Slim Taye is that. He's a guy who can roam as a safety. He can pick up some of your other receivers. But again, I don't think the issue is offense when you score 36 points.
No, and they had some critical fourth down conversions, Fitzgerald, that they hit.
But that's because again, there's not enough resistance on the defense.
No.
William Brouard going for 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
And they got skunked by deep balls in Laval last Thursday. And I wonder, like, had they lost that game, would first place be out of the question? If they were, instead of being 4-1, they would have been 3-2. Vultures are 4-0, and they're definitely the kings and queens of this division.
Vultures, no, they look at their opponents. So far, like they're good. Don't get me wrong. James Drysdale's a ridiculous athlete.
Yeah.
The team is really good. Obviously, Rachel Valliere, we've talked about it. We saw on Instagram her catching that fly on the right side of the field. All right,
But Beef is no competition.
But look, they played Marchand Vitesse, rookies, Beeftons, street runners.
Yeah, Beefton's
They've
not
not
good.
been challenged yet.
No.
They have IG team. Plenty of Fish is a team that struggle, but they're talented. Deep balls, never too late team. Kiss my end zone and pick six. Like the remaining schedule will show whether or not they're really the top end of the division.
So would you say up till now you would consider them alternative number 1 seeds?
I call them FK.
False. Oh, no. FKU.
No,
False.
they're not even a university. They're just FK.
False Kings and Queens.
It's more like a collegiate program.
Well, I don't know about the Queens. Who are the Queens? Oh, because co-ed. I see.
Yeah,
what
it's
you're saying.
co-ed, yeah.
Yes. FKQ.
Yeah, FKQ. Yeah. Sounds like a DQ cake.
It does. It does.
What would the flavor be, though?
Terrible.
I would say like a chocolate swirl.
But then what would FK stand for if it's a Dairy Queen thing?
Fudge.
Fudge. I can see it.
Fudge,
Yeah.
Fudge caramel with a K.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And Q is
Krusty's
quartz.
comedy classic.
Here we go.
Okay, deep balls. I'm buying into this team as being in that conversation for a title contender. They may not be Vultures. They might be Fit Squad. They may not be even Kiss My End Zone. But I do like this core. I like how they built it up. Big win over Fit Squad last week. They got a win earlier this week as well, in which they took out the Marchand Vitesse. Again, not a strong team. But I believe this team, with what they have built up, from the quarterback play to their defense in particular, Bruno Portland-Strays had a good start to the season. They can make plays, Pease, and I'm thinking they can be in that Final Four conversation.
So the one time they faced the top tier team, they lost by 20 points.
That's easy fun.
Yeah.
But in
Easy fun or good, by the way.
Yeah, in defense, they didn't have a full roster of deep balls that day.
So they're gonna play Kiss My End Zone. They're gonna play Vultures. They're gonna play Never Too Late team. Like we'll have a clear picture for sure.
Yeah, no, but I like
But
them a lot,
like,
man. I really do.
Are they an actual elite team, or are they just the best of the rest?
I
I have a
don't-
feeling that they'll end the season as a mid seed.
I don't think. Yeah, I think there'll be 5 will be their ceiling. They
Maybe
could,
6.
Yeah, 6.
Like if they win all the games they're favored to win, it's 6 games.
yeah,
right?
I think they
They might even and they might surprise us and win one of the games that they're not favored and go 7-3.
which would be huge for
Yeah,
them, right?
Which would be
And-
great. But I think come playoff time, like especially when they face teams with a great rusher, like when Lucas Kenville's rushing Bruno Provencher, he won't be able to buy time the way he does. He won't be able to just go out there and make athletic plays. There's gonna be some dark times ahead a little bit, which I think will make them better come playoff time. To be fair, they're going to be matchup dependent, is what I'm saying.
They're matchup dependent for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if they shock a team in the playoffs. Like if they go into a game as an underdog, it wouldn't surprise me if they took out a big hitter, because when they played Fit Squad, it was a perfectly executed game from their end. They were making plays on Fit Squad on defense. They were clutch.
Sorry, so they did beat Fiscal. You're right. So they,
Yeah,
they
they
did they did beat one team,
Yeah.
which is great. So like it shows they can do it, right? So like
Yeah.
I
That's
could
why-
be
that's why I had that
wrong about this
conversation there. Yeah, that
based
question
on
in there,
that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong in this based on that, but my impression was that they're gonna beat the bad teams and lose to the good teams.
But that was massive, though. to beat
But
Fiscal.
that
It changes
look,
the narrative. for
I'm
them.
wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right off the bat. I'm wrong. They're already better than I thought they were.
Yeah.
That said, they do have a tough chunk late in the season.
Yeah, they will know. We'll have a better idea, a better picture of them at the end of the year of where they are. Pick 6. Contender or pretender?
I like the team. Okay, I like the quarterback more than anything else. Vincent Chung's amazing. Just as a flag player, he's amazing.
Yeah. I believe he's leaving. I believe he's moving.
Oh, well, during the season or after the season?
I forget who I was speaking to about this, but they said that he won't be there as of fall and beyond. I think he's moving somewhere, so he's not going to be available. So this might be his last run.
Okay, well, that's no information.
That's what I was told. I forget.
But I
who
know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
is it during the season or outside of the
I think it's
season?
outside the season. That's why this could be
Oh,
his
so
last
then,
run.
then doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
Um,
this could be the last run for him, right, in FPF.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, sucks because he's awesome. He's gotten better and better as a quarterback. Although this is probably the highest level he's played against. Because I think he played Division 6 and E or 6 and D.
I think it's 60. You're right.
Thomas Shosty was a nice player to bring along. So was Emerson Peterkin. I think that for them to really take that next step, we need to see some more involvement from the females outside of Magali Ruel.
But that's a problem though in this division for Co-Ed 3. I've score capped.
Yeah. Big 6 is not the Co-Ed 3 though. The Co-Ed 2.
Yeah, sorry, Co-Ed 2. But sorry, I apologize. But that like I'm saying from Co-Ed 3 and even a little bit of Co-Ed 2, some teams they don't use their female.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
content
that's
yet.
going to prevent them from being a true contender. It's like you can't play against the best teams if you're playing 4-on-6 or 5-on-6. In their case, 5-on-6.
Right, because like we love big TDs don't use their female content as well.
Yeah.
Even though they're in first place, they're running with Co-Ed 3. I just find that they have really good players in this roster for We Love Big TDs for the female roster, and I just think that the quarterback play that they have right now, which has been great for them so far this season, that they have with with Josh Nadler.
Nadler, yeah.
The number of targets of the females that he has used so far this year. Vicky Duan, 7 targets, right? Danielle Sager, 4 targets. Maya Ohana, 1 target. Ali Steinberg, 4 targets.
Yeah.
Like-
And Ali Steinberg only played 2 games, to be fair, but
yeah.
still. That said, like, look, I know that Justin Goodman and Nicholas Fawn are 2 ridiculous athletes. And so, yeah, they're obviously going to get targeted. They're obviously going to be a big part of the team. But you're right. Like, that's 4-0. But I'm curious to see, do they, like, even when they play like Michael Scott's Toss, like just a team. I see what happened with Pig 6, by the way. Were we talking about different Pig 6s?
I'm talking about Pig 6.
Okay. But there's 2 Pig 6 teams. Who approved that? Eagle?
I have no idea.
In co-ed, there's 2 teams called Pig 6 in different divisions.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
talking
know.
about Pig 6 and Co-Ed 3. That's what I was referring to.
No, but you wrote Pig 6 with a 6.
Which makes it the co-ed 2 team.
correct.
Oh, I apologize. My apologies.
So, yeah, I don't know. So, scrap all the... Just go back in time and fast forward 4.5 minutes.
Rewind to fast forward back to rewind it, you know? Anyway.
Make sure to like, subscribe.
Yeah, and don't forget to do that. Okay, but in Co-Ed 3, is there like a gap, though, with the top half to the bottom half of this division? Are we starting to see that separation now?
I really like Fast and Furious 3.
The movie or the team?
Both.
Because the movie was
Number 3 was not. Number 3 was when they go drifting, right? Tokyo Drift.
No,
Is it?
technically, I think that falls 5th in order because Tokyo Drift happens out of order. Anyway, I'm not doing this right now.
No, because Tokyo Drift was the third one because the
No,
fourth.
It was the 3rd movie,
Yeah,
but
so
it's
was that
not
was-
the 3rd in the
I know, not an
storyline.
installment. Yeah, exactly. It's like
It's later on.
yeah, which made no sense.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Because we know
It's
that
a
Han
late-
is alive, and then whatever it is, right?
It's a late. He also came back just at
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Poor dude.
Yeah.
Thunder Buddies to me and Fast and Furious 3 are the best teams in the division. Terry Bradshaw is a really good quarterback. I know he's not fully recovered probably from his knee injury, but I don't think it matters because I think his football knowledge is really where his skills lie. He's getting better and better, and I think he's poised to show that as it goes. I find Drink Team interesting, but I'm not entirely convinced. They tied that first game. Eagle, you played them, right? Are you free agents still?
Not yet.
No, okay, so your team is not free agents. That was last
My
season.
team is free agents.
Yeah.
You lost 68-6 to Drink Team.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
So-
but that I wouldn't count that game necessarily because we were 6 people.
But
and
you
missing
saw
our
them, so,
starting
like, can you
Yeah,
quarterback.
it was
give
a
us
bit of a
some-
mess that day.
Can you give us some input on the team then? Just having played them, like having seen their team. Like I'm not looking at the outcome specifically, but just
they're fast and a lot of them are tall, and the women players are quite good.
okay.
But,
so
like,
that's a lot.
As you guys
I know
do
it's
this?
just the game. It wasn't even close. The whole thing, like it's unfair to say that we even put up a fair fight to really challenge them. It wasn't even close. So.
All right,
So-
professionalism at its finest. Daryl Dursley, here, Mo, I have water.
No, I drink too much water. I have to go.
I misunderstood. He needs to remove water, not intake water.
Yeah, I understand.
So
So now I have to go find a picture of Mo, right? That's how this
Yeah,
works
yeah.
to replace him with.
Ideally
Got
in white. That's the one. So he's wearing white compression everything for those.
that
for
did
those
not take
listening.
me long at all, by
It's
the way.
wild how you have it at the ready. For similar sentiments, visit Mo's Instagram page, Instagram account. So Daryl Dursley, to me, if he decides he's going to rush in the playoffs full time, then that takes Drink Team and makes them a much better defense. Like if he commits to rushing, he's a really good rusher, and I don't feel as though he does it enough because I guess in a lot of his teams he feels he has to play out of their spots. But I think this team might be good enough. Like Erica Magini's been really good, and then you see, of course, the Valerie Shelder we've talked about in other divisions as well, and Alexandre Roel also intercepting passes. Maître Clozon has been on this team as well. Maître Clozon is a dude you never expect to be as athletic as he is, but he just knows how to put himself in positions to make plays. This team is kind of fun and plucky. I don't know if they're really going to be at that level throughout the season. The teams they've really beat down on are teams that are struggling, but they do play We Love Big TDs next. So that's going to show us which of the two, ideally, are the more flawed team. That said, watch the game end 32-32, and we have no information. Hey, Mo.
On to Div D. All right, fair enough then. So we had the breakdown of top halves and the bottom halves over here. Perfect. On to Division D, our last division of the evening here. CTA, as I try to buy my time, this is taking a long time to load up here on the standings and stuff. I hope they get this.
You let me know when you're
So
ready.
even
and
with their
then-
win, with Rafi Bastijan, a cute quarterback, are you concerned that Rude Ballsacks won't be able to put up more points and keep themselves above the dotted playoff line? I decided to read it as Mo Khan.
Yeah.
So I read the additional commentary. Root Sacks, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, Utsak's big one yesterday, 2-3 now. But we know Rafi Bastajian. He's played in the higher divisions as a receiver.
Mhm.
His first real run at quarterback. I find that he's too dependent on the deep ball. And you mentioned before in the previous division how the deep ball cannot be your lifeline to success.
Look, it can be. It's just not common. And look, to be fair, in lower divisions, it does work better, right? Like if you just have athletes and other teams don't, that can play to your advantage.
They have a good defense, though. Like I like their defense a lot. They except for the Friends with Danny game here, they've done a good job keeping teams to less than 20 points. I think like four games in a row since that loss to Friends with Danny. So they are a good defending team. I just don't know about their offense to keep up with the big hitters of this division.
Yeah, like so they have a new developing quarterback, right? You know that going in, and so I think what they need to do is just simplify the playbook. You don't need to be going long often. Like even in the top divisions, and you're watching, most of the best quarterbacks take 3 or 4 deep shots a game, and the rest of it is just understanding how to exploit zones or beat individual man matchups, and there's enough talent on the team to be putting up more points. I know they beat up on Riders of Rohan this week, but they're going to be challenged against teams like West Island Boys that have.
That's going to be a challenge for them.
Because they have the athleticism that Rootsack have as well.
Yeah.
So are they sponsored by Rootsack, or do they just really like the store?
I think they say, well, I don't know. That's good. I'll ask Arto Kachikian about that. By the way, Jeremy Peltier, early candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, 5 INTs, 3 PDs, 12 tackles, a hell of a player, Jeremy Peltier. Yeah. He plays in a high division as well. I forget which one it is he plays with, but hell of a player. They're a good defense. I just don't know if the offense. Mangoose, right? So I don't know if they're going to keep up with the better teams with the offense. Like Mustajian can run it. Like you can see his combined yards of rush and passes up there, but at some point, man, he's going to have to develop as a passing quarterback, and he'll have to take there'll be some lean times, I think. And remember, when they played Studs or Us, they lost on the last play on the Hail Mary. So they could have easily been, what's that noise? Oh, motorcycle. They could have easily been 3-2 than being 2-3 at this point.
How easily distracted are you? How do you work as a full-time professional broadcaster and the smallest of noises throw you off?
So because it's a soundproof booth.
So you know what? In my backyard, I have the CP trains going through. So since I was a baby, right, I've always had trains.
So then how is it distracting when there's sound?
I was going to say, like, does someone drop a bag of popcorn next to you and you stop broadcasting?
Well, my question, Eagle, my question is, when Mo and I are on the show, is there another pairing that has more ADHD than me and Mo in the studio?
I don't think so, actually, no.
It's wild.
No, Iggy covers that with his answers.
Iggy, it's the opposite. He's
so focused on the topic.
Yeah,
he won't let go.
Inability to let it go. I told him once, dude, when you ask me a question, you don't have to also answer the question.
Of course. But that's why he covers the ADD for us, right? It's... oh, man. Anyway.
Yeah, if Rafi Bestajan can just limit mistakes, because he's thrown 7 interceptions through half the season, which is not bad. But, if you can clean that up a little, and all you need to do is just make safer decisions. Yes? Would you like to join the podcast?
Good job, Eagle. Good job, Eagle.
I almost got him again.
No, you didn't.
I saw it.
No, you didn't, because you almost got with the backyard boys, too.
Backyard boobies.
Well done. The level of emotional maturity in this show is very high. I promise you.
And the thing is, and I changed it before. I was like, he's not going to see it. Anyway. I have the 3 swims here, guys. Stick with the script. What do you mean? All right. This show's going off the rails. We have much time left.
I'm waiting for you to ask.
Is it ever on the rails for that matter? But yeah.
Of course. X-Men. Are we now buying the Kool-Aid for them? Because they are definitely growing on us, and they are definitely becoming a real threat for this division.
So the flaws are still what the flaws were, but the good things about them are really impressive. They're really imposing at times where you feel as though you just can't keep up, essentially, and that's the atmosphere that they often create. I do think there's a little bit of a gap between the top end teams. Like I remember, I think there was a show where I was away and you talked about how you were surprised Bandits were doing well. Bandits moved down a division, essentially. They were in Division 4.
Yeah, they got wrecked.
Yeah, but it's fine. This is a division where they're likely a touch too strong. Idle Udipimps also a touch too strong. So what we see here, X-Men, I think they're probably sort of those 1A caliber teams. I think they're good.
Do we understand their quarterback rotation? Because it feels like Daniel Devine has taken over as QB1 because Noah Sonoma-Dana had hurt his elbow, shoulder, throwing arm, tinnitus, whatever. And then Emerson Peterkin, it looks like he subbed for a game to take over. But is that confirmed? What is the plan, I guess.
Well, remember, they run Patriots north over here, so they're not going to give us any information, these guys.
Yeah, I thought Emerson Peterkin would have made the most sense, but I guess having him as a receiver is also amazing. I'm surprised Louis Swame didn't come in. By that I mean Noah's dad, whose name I forgot. Gama Louis. I thought he would have come in because that's what he did for the finals.
And won in the last play.
Which again, by the way, whoever's
A
dealing
Disney
with
movie,
situations.
man.
No, it's not a Disney movie. It's a horror show because the reason we have a quarterback cap is literally Gotma Swaminathan won a Division E or 6 championship.
He literally put Tom Brady on Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, he pulled Tom Brady in this situation, though. Anyway.
but like, so why is he still allowed to throw in that division even though he's the reason that there's a cap rule for quarterbacks?
He pointed his middle fingers at the cap and FPF, and he came out of his champion league.
Listen, hey, if you're allowed to do it, go for it, man. But I'm just saying we got to do a better job of weeding this stuff out.
Yeah, you know what, though? They have depth, and whichever quarterback they go with, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, look, honestly, they're really good. It just, like I said, I think that they don't play either Bandits or Idaho Udapimps, right? So, yeah, we'll have to see that come playoff time. Big Dracos, I thought, were going to be a challenge for them, and they disposed of them pretty easily.
Yeah, they wrecked them out of there and stuff. But, like West Island Boys might be a challenge. Prime time might be tricky for them. But I don't see any of the... See, the Huntsic team might give them problems. And that's week 10 of the season in early July. That might be the trickiest game on the schedule.
Ish.
Yeah.
I think Bandits are probably Bandits to Huntsic rather
Yeah.
are just a notch under.
Oh, I agree. But that's why it could be the trickiest game of what it is.
I can see like that's a game where like Oriola Poirier goes nuts.
Yeah, he might be the matchup problem for these guys, right? So it's
Russell Rochette, by the way, also really good.
Yeah.
He doesn't have necessarily the fame that we've given Oriola Poirier because he hasn't played as much or just hasn't been on the radar as much.
Right.
But that's a good team, man. Honestly, like I think Bandits and Huntsic, they're to me they're about what X-Men are.
Right.
Maybe just a touch below. But yeah, I put both those teams to be in that next tier under the top 2 teams in division.
Finally, we have 11 teams with 3 wins or better. How impressed are you in this division? I know we talk about Division C being the best, but
not the bit, just the most parity, which
Yeah.
probably makes it the worst division, right? Like best usually means you have like standouts and whatever, but other than the cowards.
But like one loss from one of these 4-0 teams, they might fall behind the pack, right? And they might end up being like a 5 seed by Monday morning, right? So it's not like you're running away.
It's a giant division. There's going to be.
What's the playoff format again for this?
We're not divulging
splitting,
yet.
but we're not revealing how we're gonna split.
We know. For once, we actually know in advance.
Oh, I found the one. That's wrong. Spring 2022. Iggy, you fucked up.
Jeez.
There's always one.
Yeah, bleeped up, Iggy.
Yeah, we're splitting it. We're gonna essentially make it so you can't tank your way into a lower playoff bracket.
Okay, fair enough. No
It
problem.
will result in some first round blowouts, but those teams would have got blown out anyway.
No problem. So yeah, as we were saying before, with 11 teams with 3 wins or better, I think it's impressive that we have that.
Yeah.
And it's going to make.
But I think it's also that the bottom of the division is markedly weaker. Like it's a division that could have had a split. But just like if we had 36 teams and we split it, I think it would have been a more compelling division D1 and D2 sort of thing.
Right. Well, again, hopefully we see the bottom half make a run for a playoff spot or 2, right? Because again, once that playoff format is revealed, there can't be any tanking, as you said. So hopefully there won't be teams tanking it to kind of backdoor the way towards a championship in early August. Moving forward, though. All right, it is now time for
Games of the Week.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Let's get this started here. We're gonna start with Division B. Ambush B Raves.
B Raves.
It's a good game here. I'm gonna go with Ambush.
All right. Run it once. Silent Ticklers.
Run it once.
Run it once, yeah.
Easy W. Beer Belly Brigade.
Dubs.
Breaking news: Shannon Sharp's leaving undisputed. The ECW beer belt. I'm gonna go ECW.
Breaking news on non-live shows. My favorite move.
Blessed Mangoose.
That's a
Tough
good game.
game. Blessed.
Blessed.
Beers and Brownies. Poseidon's Kiss.
Poseidon's Kiss.
I go beers over water.
All right, Division A. Star City KGP.
Star City.
Star City.
They run it.
They have to.
They're gonna run it. They're gonna run it now.
Braves Bless Up.
Braves.
Yeah. Praise.
The Jamesons Party Crashers.
Give me Jameson's.
Yeah. Jameson's.
All Stars #NR.
Hashtag NR.
I'm gonna go all stars, but good game.
#NR Royaume Luminaire.
Hashtag NR.
Hashtag NR.
Division E. Cover 3 inches long. Grand Daddy Perp.
Cover 3.
I will not watch that game. Cover 3 inches long.
Bend Don't Break. Texas Chooches.
Ben no break.
Then no break.
Show me them TDs. Renfang. Or
I
Ram
think it's Ram Fins because they like the Rams and the Dolphins.
That
It's a
makes
dumb
sense.
name. Show me them titties.
Trailer Park Boys. Les Habitations BR.
Saw the boys play not great. Gonna go with Habitation.
Will Trailer Park Boys show up?
They did show up. They did show up.
Minka FT Primetime.
Prime time.
FT.
Satrial Timberwolves.
Satrial.
Satriales.
Pasta Arabiat. Not you two.
Not you two.
Not you two.
Bloodline Texas Wales.
Bloodline.
Blood.
FSU Trailer Park Boys.
FSU.
FSU.
Hooray! Hail Marty's.
Hail Marty's.
Hail Marty's.
Area 69. Cover 3 inches long.
69.
Area 69.
Meat Lovers and Only Flags.
Only flags.
Only flags.
Women's Division 1 and 2. Red Nation. Touchdown for what?
Red Nation.
Yeah, I'll go Nation.
BIT Wolfpack.
Wolfpack.
VIT.
But who needs it more? Supernova Wildcats.
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 Wolfpack Les Petites Miettes.
Visit me at.
I'm gonna go with Pizza Mia.
The Rock Blue Thunder.
Thunder.
The Rock.
Sub-Zero Wildcats.
Wait. Allow me to break the ice. Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero.
Was XNX.
Was. It's good. Close game though.
Division C. Diamond Bougie Top Season.
Good game.
Top season looked good this week.
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna buy into. They were my fields anymore. I'm gonna go top season.
I thought I was gonna be alone on that, but I'll go top season.
Dirty Birds The Infantry.
Birds.
Infantry.
Kiss My In-Laws Flag Fools.
Kiss my loss.
KMI.
Backyard Bullies Mengoose.
Bullies.
Sharks All Madden.
Sharks.
Sharks.
Air Force 1.2 Green Munches.
Lunches.
Monks.
Bible Study Killer Rays.
Study.
I don't know, but if their whole roster's there, Bible study.
Primal Besete Seput.
That's that.
That's it.
Top Season Game Changers.
My field. I'm gonna go with top season.
Game changers.
Trap Stars Les Bleus Branleurs.
Trap stars.
Trap stars in a close one.
Yeah, same.
Backyard Bullies Green Munches.
Bullies.
Bullies.
Repeat Offenders Fourth and Schlong.
Long.
Offenders.
Junkyard Dogs The Commission.
Commission.
Junkyard Dogs. Ugly game.
And Hot Sauce Sports Never Overtime.
Hot sauce.
I can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Why is that? Les Machins de Vitesse Pig 6.
Pick six.
Pick six.
Fit
The other pick six.
Fit Squad Beeftons.
Fit squad.
Fit squad.
Easy Fun Kiss My End Zone. This is co-ed, by the way.
Yeah. I'm gonna go kiss man zone.
Kiss my hand zone.
Block Party Plenty of Fish.
Party.
Plenty of fish.
Street Runners Deep Balls.
Deep balls.
Les Machins de Vitesse The Rookies.
Rookies.
Rookies aren't bad. We're going to go with the rookies.
Pig 6 Never Too Late
Pick
Team.
six.
Can't pick it. Never too late. Team by 50.
The IG Team Vultures.
Vultures.
The IG team.
Okay. Co-ed Divisions 3. Free Agents Fast Not Furious 3.
Fast and Furious.
FF3. FNF3.
1 and Niners Pig 6.
Other pick six.
Pick six.
Pig six.
Michael Scott's Tots Catching W's.
Scott's.
Tots.
We Love Big TDs Drink Team.
Big titties.
Drink team.
Thunder Buddies Kamikaze.
Thunder Buddies.
Thunder Buddies.
Tigres Dream Killers.
Think it is. We're gonna win it.
I just like the team name Tigres.
Nice
Gonna go
guys.
Tigres.
Nice group of team.
Yeah.
Les
Nice group
cre-
of team.
Les Crevettes and Les Schtroumpfs.
Cravette.
I love me some shrimp.
And lastly, Division D,
Oh my
Blitz Sisters Stallions.
Sisters. I'm going to Blitz Sisters. We're gonna win this week.
Stallions.
Balls Deep, Longhorns.
Balls deep.
Balls deep.
Big Dracos, Primetime.
Prime time.
Dracos.
Flagtastic, No Regrets.
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 Born in the 80s, Save the Turtles.
Turf Turtles.
Turfed.
Les Petites Carottes, Every Inch Counts.
Petit Carat.
Same.
Idaho Utah Pimps, Bandits.
Idaho. Good game. Idaho.
Idaho. No, you know what? F off, Iggy. Bandits.
Studs Are Us, Dilf Gang.
Dilf Gang.
Duff Gang.
Les Renards Vifs, Red Dragons.
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 Flagtastic, Les Bleus Dry.
LBD.
LBD.
X-Men, Riders of Rohan.
X.
The Rude Sacks, West Island Boys.
Sound Boys.
West Island Boys.
Bandit de Hunsick, Why So Serious.
Hunsick.
Big Fat Bats, Glory Boys.
Big Fat Bats.
Big Fat Bats.
And Friends with Danny, Blues.
Friends of Danny.
Danny.
The Penetrators, DN.
Penetrators.
Penetrators.
Should it be N?
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be that.
All right.
So that's going to be our games of the week for this week.
Reminder, check your rosters. We're approaching the halfway point of the season already. 5 games eligible. Please check your rosters.
And check your playoff schedule to ensure that you are keeping yourself available for playoff games. We know that obviously vacations in the summertime suck, but they don't move around in terms of our playoff nights. They are locked in, so plan accordingly. If you're currently in a playoff spot, if you're chasing a playoff spot, also plan accordingly because you're going to get it. We trust you. We know you.
9 weeks away from the road
you're
show.
good.
We're 9 weeks away from the road
Is it 9 weeks? Are you counted?
Well, yeah. We're literally, as of next week, we'll be 2 months away, so it's 9 weeks.
I really hope that
But-
baby doesn't come early.
Hope not.
I hope not.
Okay. So
I don't think it works that way, Mo. Is it actually 9 weeks?
it's roughly 9 weeks.
I don't know. Does it matter?
It does matter to me because Mo says it so confidently.
61.
91 weeks.
Yeah, 61 plus another. Yeah, it was 67 days away. Yeah. So we're more than 9 weeks. Or roughly, we're in between like 9.5 weeks.
Hold on. We're gonna find out.
66 days away, I think.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna do week numbers here. So today we are.
Oh my God,
this is so
5,
boring.
31,
I'm doing calendar.
Oh my God, I hate this. It's
I'm
so
I'm doing
boring.
calendar numbers. I'm doing like calendar, not week.
Calendar numbers. Those are known as days, Mo.
Okay, so right now,
This
We're gonna be
sucks.
66 days away.
right now,
I've
9.5
never
weeks.
wanted the show to be over so much. I missed 3-hour shows that felt
right
less
now
long
we
than
are on
this.
week 22
This is
of
terrible.
the year. All
Oh my
right,
God, 22 of the year.
and the actual day itself is the 6th, right?
Yeah, so we're 66 days away.
And that would be week 32. So there's 10 weeks, Mo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Magic words, please.
Wait, 0 for 11 to start the game?
Good night, Boston Celtics. Peace.
We got it.
I did.